From the hot air balloon capital of the world, this is live coverage of the 52nd edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. It's Balloon Fiesta Live. And now, direct from the rooftop studio at Balloon Fiesta Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico, here are your hosts, Art Lloyd Jr. and Ted Maes.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and happy weekend if you may be down under.
Yes, nearly Saturday, mates.
Almost there, and it is Friday. It is Kids Day here at Balloon Fiesta. Kids Day presented and sponsored by Chick-fil-A. We're going to find out more about that in just a few moments. But it looks to be another fabulous day. Art Lloyd Jr. and Ted Maes here on Balloon Fiesta Live. Great day. Looks shaping up again, huh?
It is. A little bit of repeat yesterday, but we're going to have to, again, wait for the sun to crest the Sandias to see what happens.
So we'll see, but we've already got our Dawn Patrol balloons inflating out there. They will be launching, we suspect, and we'll watch what happens there. We'll go to pilot's briefing as normal, catch on the weather. We've got some we call it a mini Maes Ascension because it's only like 300 balloons.
Only 300, yes.
Yeah. They're going to fly out of here. Our special shapes are going to stand up. Some of those may fly. And then we're going to have another 300 or so balloons come flying in for competition, which would include another ring toss, we expect. And my prediction is that all the money that was not won yesterday, because no one got to a pole yesterday, will be on the poles today. So even higher rewards if you can ring a pole today.
Yeah, double the money today, hopefully, for those guys.
That's what
and gals.
And gals, yeah. We'll double check on that as we get closer to that, and we're going to send Ted down into the middle of the competition again. And
yeah, that was fun.
Maybe people will get poles with you down there today.
I hope so. I would like to see all of my friends who are competing down there. I'd like to call their names out.
Hey, so we mentioned that today is Kids Day, and starting at 4:30 this morning, kids were treated to a bag of goodies down there by the Main Street stage. And all of this brought to us by Chick-fil-A. Up here on the rooftop studio with us this morning, Ken Searson from Chick-fil-A. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing great. How did the giveaway with the kids go down there?
Well, it's still going.
It's still going.
It's pretty incredible. This is our second year sponsoring Kids Day.
Hold that up just there you go.
Sorry,
That's all right.
This is our second year sponsoring Kids Day here at Balloon Fiesta. And this year we've learned a lot from last year, and we've got 4,000 backpacks down on the field. We're handing out to kids 12 and under. It's obviously all the kids are out of school today,
right.
So they're all down there. We're still handing them out. We also have a special treat for the kids this year.
What's that?
We have our whole herd of 7 cows that are down there. All the northern New Mexico Chick-fil-A's have brought their cows out.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a herd of cows down there, and people are taking pictures with them. And we also have one additional special treat for everyone here at Balloon Fiesta this year.
Yeah.
And that is any person that comes onto Balloon Fiesta grounds and opens up their Chick-fil-A app will receive a free sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
All you got to do is open the app?
All you got to do is open your Chick-fil-A app.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, you're doing it right
now. You can do it right now.
Give
we're
going
it
to have to do that.
8 to 10 seconds and it'll pop up.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
What is it about getting involved with Balloon Fiesta that works for Chick-fil-A?
I think it's a perfect combination, and the whole balloon environment, combined with our Chick-fil-A values of being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and having a positive impact on the community, just fits in perfectly with the Chick-fil-A's corporate purpose. The folks that we know here at Balloon Fiesta are just amazing, and we've formed a great relationship, one that we're thinking is going to go on for many, many years.
Excellent.
We're excited about that.
And what's been the reaction? Because the other thing you guys are doing, you have this actual hot air balloon program now going on in a lot of Chick-fil-A's, at least in the Southwest. And how's that going over?
So that's actually pretty incredible. So we've got balloons now. We started in Utah, got our balloon here in Albuquerque. We also now have a balloon in Dallas, Texas, because they got very interested in it. And we're looking at almost 40 markets across the United States now that are showing a lot of interest, and who are we're taking our balloon out to their areas: Seattle, San Antonio, Western Michigan. We're all over now, including this year. Special surprise! It looks like we're going to be at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on January 1st in Atlanta, Georgia, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Very nice.
So
we take the whole fleet of balloons there?
We're going to take ours from Albuquerque. So our Albuquerque balloon is getting notoriety throughout the country.
Excellent. It's always great to drive around the city and to see the Chick-fil-A balloon up around town, and there's always a crowd around it.
Yeah.
Well, I had the opportunity in the Phoenix market to fly with Kevin Flanagan down there a few years back. And we got in the air, and he says, hey, I really need you to take it over one of the restaurants. And I took it right down the drive-thru, and just the people in line, it was just so much fun. And then we flew over some construction sites and gave him some free sandwiches and that type of stuff. But as we landed, that balloon brings everybody right there. It was unbelievable.
Well, the thing that we do when we execute a balloon flight is we'll always have these styrofoam carriers that we give to the kids, and we always hand out free sandwiches and all kinds of goodies. This year we have coloring books, Chick-fil-A coloring books with the balloons on it. So there's always a lot of swag that comes along with the balloon that folks tend to enjoy.
So chase the Chick-fil-A balloon.
Chase the Chick-fil-A balloon.
And if you're out here on the field, stop by just south of the Main Street stage and pick up your backpack with all the great Chick-fil-A swag.
And if you're out on the main field, I just did it. Log on to your Chick-fil-A app, and you can get yourself a free sandwich here in the local Albuquerque market, correct?
That's our gift to you.
It's also I think it's also in the official program too, as well, isn't it?
It is on the inside cover of the official program. So if you don't have the Chick-fil-A app, you can simply scan that QR code. It'll bring up the Chick-fil-A app, and you'll get a free sandwich.
Ken, with Chick-fil-A, thanks for joining us here. Thanks for being a great big part of Balloon Fiesta. Look forward to more years working with you guys.
Well, it's definitely our pleasure, and thank you very much for having us on, and it's wonderful to be a part of this. So,
all right, Ken, we're going to let you get back down there, handing out more backpacks. Ken Searson from Chick-fil-A, the Albuquerque branch here, the northern New Mexico, I think is what your region is, but representing Chick-fil-A all over. So
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
I can't wait for the sun to come up. I'm going to spot those 7 cows out there.
Well, yeah, but you're going to have all these kids with their little cow ears up there out there as well.
I bet you our crack staff at Windfire will be able to spot those cows from one of our camera angles.
We'll be able to do that, I'm sure. What a great deal with Chick-fil-A. We are really excited about having Chick-fil-A with us for the second year. Again, this is Kids Day here at Chick-fil-A, and I think there you go. There you go. We did send Diane down to check out the giveaway part of this Kids Day with Chick-fil-A. So let's go down and see what kind of herding is going on down there with Diane Kinderwater. Diane?
Okay, we're coming on now. We're mooing, moo. I don't know. We have a cow here representing Eat More Chicken with Chick-fil-A. Of course, this is Kids Day presented by Chick-fil-A. Nice bow. We're taking a bow. And they are giving away this nice, I love string bags. They're giving away string bag. Can you help me show what we have here, Mr. Cow? We've got a Eatin' Chicken, Eat More Chicken. We've got, some nice Cheerios. Thank you. What a nice grab bag this is. Oh, here's a coloring book. Can't have too many coloring books. We've got some balloon cards. Very nice. And there are a line of kids. Oh, there's more. Look at this. A juice. A little. What is that? Wow. Be our guest at Chick-fil-A.
That's a DLC that everybody can redeem at any of the stores in northern New Mexico. So you just go to any Chick-fil-A. You just present this to the register or drive through, and they just give your kids a free kids meal.
Free kids meal. Well, what age do you have to be to get a free kids meal?
You have to be any
Okay, I'm gonna stick this one in there for me later. The coloring book, maybe I don't need, but that coupon is pretty good. And then we have a nice coloring book, coloring picture of the Balloon Fiesta, plus the nice string bag. Okay, Mr. Cow, Mr. Eat More Chicken, thank you. Are you gonna dance for us? We're gonna all dance.
All righty.
Always a kid at heart, Miss Diane Kinderwater out on the field. I had an idea that she was going to do something like that, but hey.
You know, Ken said it would be like 8 to 10 seconds. As soon as I opened my app, there it was.
Yes.
Yep, a reward from Albuquerque. Enjoy this reward on us. Balloon Fiesta, yep, Chick-fil-A sandwich. And it's now in my rewards. That's really cool. I knew that they were in the program. I saw an early proof of the program. They're right on the inside cover with that. And I thought, well, that's really cool that they're doing that. But to be able to just have it pop up in the app. So, and, you know, I always thought that when the pandemic hit, it was really interesting to watch how businesses responded to things being shut down and quarantines and all that other kind of stuff. And I thought Chick-fil-A was one of the ones that just literally attacked that and picked it up and responded quickly.
Oh, yeah.
A sign of a quality business. And so we really appreciate the time and the efforts to work with Chick-fil-A here on Kids Day at Balloon Fiesta. We continue to watch our Dawn Patrol balloons standing up. Looks like they've kind of stood up in that little diamond format again.
Going to go in a cluster again, as you mentioned yesterday.
So
looks like that's Chuck Schick, and then we have Matthew Grote right behind him, and to the right,
in fact,
Greg
there
Lindsay.
goes Chuck.
Yep, there he goes. And Tim Taylor to the left here in that wavy American balloon, American flag balloon.
So while they lined up in that kind of diamond cluster format,
They fooled us again.
Yeah, that or they're just not listening.
Actually, I got a note from Matt Grote last night telling us how much they appreciated our coverage of the Dawn Patrol show.
Well, great.
And again, not really a show today, right? Like they would do during a Mass Ascension.
Right.
But we have so this is a mini show for our mini Mass Ascension.
So there's Tim going off
Yes.
the left-hand side, Greg Lindsay with the cactus, that's Floating Oasis, and that's Matt on the far right-hand side getting airborne. And like pretty much every single morning this year, we lift off the field and we drift slightly to the southwest. And then I think every morning except yesterday, they managed to find some sort of a box to be able to come back around.
They did initially in the morning, but then again, those weather conditions continued to change through the morning. Again, we're going to head out to pilot's briefing here in a little bit, but I have been getting updates since my alarm clock went off this morning from Brad Tiemeyer and his team. A lot of the same models are building as they were yesterday. It seems, though, the most recent one that I had received from them, that small little layer we were talking about before we went on air has actually increased to about 4 knots to come back to the north. So we will see what they bring us when they bring us weather at the pilot's briefing.
That first one off the field was actually Rick Jones in Polar Dawn. Behind Tim Taylor in his red, white, and blue balloon, that's where Chuck Schick is. So Chuck has the multicolor spiral. Chuck's balloon, too good looking. You'd think we'd remember that. And of course the marker lights, because balloons are aircraft, federally licensed aircraft, which means we have to fly by all the rules. And if you fly before sunrise or after sunset, you must have marker lights.
Because they're not lighting up all the time like Greg Lindsay's doing right there. It's only when they are putting that hot air in to gain altitude, as Greg goes right over the top of the rooftop studios.
And the lights are white. The lights are white because you would be approaching the balloon. If you see the light, you're approaching it, and that's the color scheme for aircraft. White lights means you're coming up on another aircraft. So it is time for weather at the Pilots Briefing Tower. So let's check in with Pilots Briefing and probably Brad Tiemeyer and find out what's happening.
Aurora tonight, though I think it's going to be more contained off further to the north. With that said, though, high pressure is still dominating across the region, so we're still looking at great flyable conditions. Here locally, what we're seeing is we're seeing a temperature of 51 degrees up in Santa Fe, 57 down at Sunport, so it's possible that you could see a little bit of acceleration in the drainage here over the next hour or so, right? Peaking somewhere near sunrise and then decreasing thereafter. Speaking of the drainage, it has knocked the temperature back quite a bit. We have the coldest start to the morning so far. Running temperatures right near 50 degrees or even just a little bit below that. Once you get over towards the Rio Grande, you'll notice it gets even colder. And where it's even colder, I would expect that funneling to be just that much stronger. So if you are able to box or even find your way over towards the river valley, there may be winds that are just a little bit stronger just above the surface there than where you're at further out, either to the east or to the south. Speaking of that, when you're headed to the south this morning, I was talking with Troy Bradley and some of the other locals on ways to fly this area, especially when you're headed towards the city. And they said that once you get past about Topgolf or the Renaissance area, that the winds actually slow up as you're headed further south towards Albuquerque Sunport. So just be aware of that, even though I know a lot of times I come from the Midwest, and when I was flying and the winds were picking up, it was an idea of, it's time to get down type thing, where here you've got so many effects of the local terrain driving those wind speeds. So given that that's the case, you can fly south, things open up, there's a lot of landing spots out there, so don't be shy to do that today. One thing that I wanted to point out, we decided to do something new with the and run some trajectories for you guys just to kind of show where you're at. So this is a trajectory earlier this morning off the European model, and it showed if you stayed right at the surface layer, you would head down towards the Renaissance area but land just to the east of I-25. If you have just a little bit of altitude, so this green trajectory here is right around 1,000 feet, it would take you right towards that I-40, I-25 interchange. So anyway, the point is that you're going to have a similar path as what you had yesterday, but I think that right now what we're seeing in the profiler is that the speeds are more confined to like the 400 to 600 feet and above. If that stays up there, then the winds will stay lighter in the near surface layer. Okay, I failed to go over the observations from around the area, so here's what we've got. Albuquerque Sunport, 57 degrees, dew point 23, relative humidity 26%. Barometric pressure is on the rise at 30.32 inches of mercury, and the wind was 020 at 9 knots. Over at Double Eagle, it was 48 degrees, dew point 16, relative humidity of 27%. Barometric pressure was rising there as well at 30.34 inches of mercury. They were reporting an unrestricted visibility, sky clear, and a variable wind at 3 knots. So I want to pull this up. The profiler is having some discrepancy problems with the wind direction. So it's just in the LiDAR data. Hang on. There we go. I need 2 hands to do that. So it's just in the LiDAR data, which is confined to the lowest 1,000 feet. The direction is not correct. So I just wanted to pull up the wind speed so you can see what's going on. We've got that layer right in the near surface layer, generally running around 2 to 4 knots is what we've seen here in terms of observations right at the surface. Then it increases once you get aloft up to that 10 to 15 layer. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a slight uptick in the winds here right towards sunrise, and then that will gradually decrease as the morning goes on. If that layer stays up, we could see wind speeds increase slightly, especially here at Balloon Fiesta Park locally. But if you get further south, we've seen all throughout the week that winds have remained very light outside of Balloon Fiesta Park. So if you're landing here for the comps, closer to 5 to 8 mile per hour is where I'm expecting it, maybe up to a gust here and there to 10. If you get out further to the south, I would expect winds generally to be 3 to 5 knots or maybe even less than that. In terms of the TAFs, what we've got is Albuquerque Sunport is looking at 360 at 5 knots, visibility unrestricted, sky condition clear. And then after 11 o'clock this morning, they go variable 6 knots, visibility unrestricted, and a view 25,000. Similar over at Double Eagle with 350 at 5 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, and few 25,000. And then after 2 o'clock, they have the wind switching out of the south, 6 knots, visibility greater than 6 miles, and few 13,000, scattered 25,000. I know I talked about the cold temperatures this morning, but we are looking at near record highs again today. So density altitude is 6,100 feet currently, 6,100 feet. So just be aware of that and how that affects your balloon equipment. And then the record high temperature today is 88, set back in 1979, and we're going to be near that today. So it looks like a pretty good morning. Like I mentioned, we just got that speed layer. Above 1,000 feet, we don't have a lot of speed, and you'll see that in the profiler there that I pulled up. And so I think the directions should be somewhat variable up there. So you could have some sort of flavor of a box, but I think it would be somewhat inconsistent. And like I mentioned, those speeds are much slower, so you'd have to spend a lot more time up there to try to actually box back to the field. But it is possible if you're able to find the right layer. I think the wind directions, especially above 1,000 feet, are going to be fairly inconsistent. Okay, with that, I have Isaac Drennan on the back of the tower helping us out with the pry ball here this morning. Do I have a launch director in the area to launch? Give Isaac permission to launch.
And with the launch of the pie ball, we'll watch it go into the sky. I always love that they put a little glow stick on it so that we can actually watch it actually go up. Of course, we've got it here, and there's Dawn Patrol, which we've taken a look at, and they are just kind of hanging out there. We heard Brad just towards the end of the briefing there say things slow down tremendously once you get to 1,000 feet. Then you just took a peek, and there's Dawn Patrol just hanging there.
Yeah, I went behind the stage over here while he was talking, and I was looking, and I said they're about Paseo del Norte area, about 1,000 feet up. I came back, and Brad says they kind of stall out at 1,000 feet, so he's dead on.
Yep.
There seemed to be a little bit of a westerly pattern, but very, very slow the last weather we looked at. When it does start to turn, it's under 2 knots, and so in a balloon, that's going to be really slow as you go. And I know these guys want to move around, especially when you're around 500 of your favorite friends.
So this is looking down at Pilot's Briefing, the same camera that we saw Brad T. Meyer and Henry Rosenbaum, our balloon meister, on. Now we've turned the camera around, and now we're taking a look at all the pilots. You see all those kind of tan, they almost have an orange tint to them. Those are all jackets that we have given to the pilots this year. There's our buddy Ron Sanchez.
Yes,
going
right
out
down
of
at the
the
bottom.
lower left. I saw a few others that I recognized.
I saw Mike Bertetto, who was yawning. So we'll talk about this. You know, we're halfway through the event at this point, and people don't realize this is a grueling activity being a pilot. You're up early mornings. You do those double days if you're doing glows at night. You really have to pace yourself, and we're a mile high, so not all pilots live here in Albuquerque. They may come from somewhere else, and they make sure they're hydrated. And as a safety official the last couple of years, I was the one that was able to give the talk midway through about, hey, let's just reset ourselves and let's make sure we know what we're doing and we're still continuing to be safe. So I know these guys are out there doing that, but it does get tired and grueling. And, you know, we still have the event today, the event tonight, event tomorrow morning, event tomorrow night, and then event on Sunday. That's a lot of activities. Most of us usually only fly once or twice a week. We're not those ride pilots operating all,
every
7 days
day.
a week. Yeah. And your crews get tired too. And the other thing is that your crews are interchanging out here because they all have jobs. You know, this is all volunteer stuff. We don't all get the time off to be able to go and balloon all the time for these 9 days in October.
It's nice if you can do it, but you're right. You can't always make it happen.
So as a pilot in command, you know, you're constantly switching out your crews, so you have to know the idiosyncrasies of what every single person out there is willing to bring to you and give to you, and know who you can trust on the crown or on the fan or so on and so forth. And there's a Dawn Patrol. Again, probably around the Paseo area, headed towards Osuna at this point, and just going slow as they go.
A lot of people actually do take their vacation and come out, but the other part of this is that a number of pilots come here, and they come here without crew because their regular crew is working, can't travel for whatever reason. And so we have a lot of volunteer crew, and we recruit those throughout the year so that they are here to help out. But a lot of times they're new, although they get hooked the first year, and they tend to come back year after year after year. There's an entire RV group that comes every year now, and they crew for about 30 or 40 balloons, I think, these days. Their RV group has gotten big enough to provide that kind of crew. So it's always nice to be able to see experienced people come back every single year when you go to a place that's not home.
Right. And as pilots, we appreciate all the help that you're able to provide. But again, as the stories that we tell as pilots, at post-flight, all of our pre-flight activities, all we have checklists. We kind of all do our own different things, and we become, when you're part of a crew. I know you've crewed for many, many years with Peter and Barbara. They really rely on, their people that have been around a long time because they know exactly what Art's going to provide to them, or they know exactly what Bobby's going to provide to them.
Yeah.
When you start mixing in other people, it just becomes a little bit, different. And you are, as the pilot in command, not only in charge of your balloon and your aircraft, but your crew as well.
To just illustrate that point, we were up in Gunnison, Colorado over the 4th of July this past year.
That's a great rally, isn't it?
It's great fun. It's only about 12 or 13 balloons up there, and we have 2 of them. And so Barbara, Peter, and I were all at pilot briefing. When we got back to where the balloon was, our crew literally had one of the balloons ready to go cold inflated, and the other one was very close, and they were still working on it. So they basically did all the setups. We did the final checklists and all that kind of stuff before we flew. But, they were able to put it all together for us, and, that's what comes from having regular crew who is out there with you time after time after time after time. We always welcome newbies, and we've talked about this up here before. One of the great things about being a pilot is to get a new crew member, take somebody for their first flight, and to re-experience the first flight through them.
Well, and talking about that, the young man we had come in, Drew from Pennsylvania, guess what he's doing today?
Is he crewing today? Because he flew yesterday, right?
He's earning his flight. He is crewing not today, but tomorrow and through the duration. So, that's how you earn your flights out here at Balloon Fiesta. And
so he's got to work for it now.
He's got to work for it now.
He got the flight, now he's got to pay it back.
He's paying the piper.
Excellent, excellent.
Or I guess Fred would say the piper. Right?
the piper. Yeah, good old PH Fred. Yeah, it would be PH Piper.
Yes.
Yep. That's good. That's good. Because the other thing is, you miss a lot of the crewing when you're in the balloon. My wife Bobby likes to say, I enjoy being on the ground crewing more than she necessarily likes to go for the flight. She loves the flights too, but the crew gets to have their own camaraderie down there as they're figuring out, do we go this way, do we go that way? And when you're not having those discussions, you're just having a good time with each other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the days when I come out here, when we're not flying Fiesta, I'll just call some local pilot and say, hey, can I just come out and crew? And, they love to have people who are experienced to come out.
Sure.
And my goal is I want to be there before they land.
Right.
Not too long ago, the Quad A president, Will Wadsworth, he got his check ride with Beth Wright Smith. And his mother came to me and said, well, if you're going to chase, you need a radio. And I said, nah, I don't really need a radio. She, oh, you're going to need a radio. Well, he did his hour flight, and I was there first when they landed, and all the people at the radio were like 15 minutes late. And they're like, how did you do that? I said, look, I grew up chasing balloons. It's like, it's like
before
smelling the bacon in the morning.
Radios.
Yes, before there were. Yes. Yeah. And I believe that made myself become a better pilot, because then I knew what they were doing in the air, what their thoughts were, and you have to know the terrain. So that changed when I moved to Pennsylvania. That's a whole different ball of wax up there.
Got to learn the area and how all that works. I always joke, it's kind of like reading the mind of the pilot.
Yeah.
But it's really more that you're kind of flying the balloon, and if you were flying, you're on the ground and you're thinking, okay, so he's going this way at this speed. So the landing areas out there are going to be here, here, and here. But when he comes down, it's going to do this, which means I need to be looking at these landing sites. And so you get there. I tell people, you chase the balloon until the last few minutes when you get ahead of it so that you can catch it.
Well, and it's easier here when you have, 500 of your closest friends flying.
Well, yeah.
It becomes more difficult when there's just you out there. Yeah.
You have nobody else to go to school on.
Correct. Well, we're having people from all over the world again. I have
probably
some
time
folks
to check in with our folks on
Western Canada, New Jersey. I have one here from my dear cousin Susie Good morning,
Hi, Susie.
Good morning. She's right here in Albuquerque.
All right.
Glad you're watching.
Yeah, let's see. Fort Worth, Texas, Longview, and Oklahoma, the Netherlands. Steve says the burn last night was cool. That was a very nice balloon Rodeo, technically, that we had last night. And, of course, you can go back and watch it because it's archived. It's on the balloonfiesta.com webpage. You can go back and relive that. You can go back and watch all of our shows for the last 7.5 years. And, by the way, if you wanted to comment and let us know, and other folks at Balloon Fiesta, what you think about Balloon Fiesta Live, our coverage, send us an email if you would, please. The address is balloons@balloonfiesta.com. Very simple, balloons@balloonfiesta.com. We would love to hear what you think of our broadcast, our coverage. If you have suggestions or positive, constructive criticism, we'll take that too. Again, the email address, balloons@balloonfiesta.com. We'd love to hear from you.
I've always been told feedback is a gift.
And an important one.
Yes. Good morning, Ames, Iowa. Let's see who else we have here. This is on the Facebook feed. Martinez, Georgia. Peoria, Arizona.
Some Go Dr. Bill Bussey and Balloon 31. We've seen him at the Target a couple of times
Yes,
this
we have.
week.
Yes, we have.
And we do have more competition coming up later this morning. And someone was asking about that. So, yeah, we kind of got everything today. We have this mini Maes Ascension with 300 balloons out of here. We already had Dawn Patrol. They're up and flying. In fact, there they are. We're going to stand up a whole bunch of special shapes. They will have the opportunity to fly or not this morning, and we'll have competition. And if that's not enough, we've got a Rodeo tonight with fireworks and another drone show and Team Fast Tracks.
Yeah.
So it is a very full day here at Balloon Fiesta as we wind up the weekdays, but still got a whole weekend to go.
Good morning to our friends in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, my neighbors to the east. We have Oregon. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, conversation going on with Kevin Osborne. Kevin is the pilot of the balloon who has managed to be the last balloon to the target each day. And so he and his young son Griffith were up here after the show last night, had a great opportunity to chat with them. So Kevin is kind of explaining to folks about the fact that he flies a fantasy balloon. That doesn't mean it's kind of a figment of anything. It was an actual manufacturer of balloons that don't make them anymore, but the balloons are still out there. Yes, Robin, special shape rodeo this morning. We're going to fly and stand up special shapes. Robin, another Robin is in from the Netherlands. And, yep, good morning. The Netherlands again, yes. Good deal. Let's see. Oh, yes, and John has moved the feed to his TV from his phone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep, that's always, that's good deals.
People down in Louisiana are saying it's cold down there. It is actually, they asked if it was cold in Albuquerque. Brad Tiemeyer said on our weather that it is the coldest day yet for Fiesta this year.
Uh-huh.
I didn't feel that. I thought the other day was a little colder, but we had a little bit brisker wind before.
Yeah.
That little drainage started earlier.
But I did kind of pay a little attention to that. I am wearing a slightly heavier jacket today.
Yes, you are.
We won't tell them what it says on the back, but because it's, yeah. But it's, and it feels just perfect. So Louisiana's here. The Balloon Discovery Center is watching again this morning. So good morning again to the Balloon Discovery Center. And, oh, you know, the Ontario is telling us the Northern Lights were really intense and crazy green, red, and blue last night. But people, we were taking pictures of the Northern Lights from right here on the rooftop studio last night.
We were. It was incredible. And then when I was able to leave the field and head back up towards where I'm staying, up there, I had to cross on Tramway Road right through the Sandia Pueblo area. I got a phenomenal shot of the Sandia Mountains in the foreground with the Northern Lights. It was great. My son sent me some pictures from Pennsylvania that were pretty incredible, and he actually said this morning on here he can't wait for tonight because he really is waiting for the pulse glow again.
Oh, the pulse glow.
Yeah, Tyler really liked the pulse glow.
Yeah, that was kind of a new one for me. And a couple of years ago, they asked me to start calling the glows here. It used to be called by the assistant balloon master. They would decide what kind of burns to do. But they're a little more busy and trying to watch and see what's going on, so they just said, why don't you just do it? And so I've been having fun with that, and we kind of make up different types of glows. So if you're around the area, we'd love to see you out here tonight and for you to experience and witness firsthand our Rodeo with all burns and flicker burns and now pulse burns.
Along with all sorts of animals and aliens. And
we just kind of mix and match so it doesn't get boring. As it's always great fun and it's hard to get boring, but we just keep it mixed and match. And make sure that you bring your phone charged, because you're going to want to take pictures, you're going to want to take videos, and we'll ask you to participate with the flashlight or the lighted screen on your cell phone when you're out here tonight for the glow. Yeah, some more folks talking about the Northern Lights. And Keith Berry says, it's great to watch you guys life-size on the wall. Thanks. Glad to hear that, Keith. Hope you're doing well. Got to see Keith in Plano a couple of weeks ago. And, he thinks the Pulse Glow was good. Nancy is saying hello to my fellow navigators. And the Colorado Springs. Oh, from Colorado Springs. They're watching from the Renaissance Costco. All right, good deal.
So we're looking over at the status flag, and there isn't one.
There is none.
Which tells me
we're getting ready to change it.
Yes, something's going to happen.
Kind of take something down before you can put something else back up.
And I said, being on the flight safety team the last couple of years, the coolest thing is that when they do get ready to go green, we find just any kid in the crowd down there and bring them over, and we let them raise the flag.
Well, any special kid.
Well, any kid.
Any kid, because that makes them special.
Yeah. So.
Hey, good time to point out there is the Main Street stage. And right next to it, that tall scissor lift, that is our camera on the east side of the field. So just one of our, I've lost count of how many cameras, because Gary keeps adding more cameras to
7, 8, 9, 10. He's going to shock us. We'll have 4 more by the end of the Fiesta.
Yeah, we've got one on there. Look
there.
There he is. We've got one on the north end. We've got 2 on the south end. Yeah, that's it. Wave at us. We've got one over there on the west side that we showed you at pilots briefing, and. And then, of course, the one that we're looking at, the scissor lift over on the east side. And then we have 2 mobile cameras. One is out there with Diane Kinderwater as she continues to check in with folks. The other one we'll be putting in the Nevada Battleborn balloon with Pat Irwin this morning. And he's flying competition today.
Yes, and hopefully he flies right to one of the poles where I'm at down there, calling all the competition at today's 52nd annual
Speaking
Albuquerque
of special kids, look there.
Oh, yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yep, and more of them waving. It is Kids Day here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. They're all waving at us. Yep. Good deal. So
we're just waiting for the status flag to be shown.
And the sun to come up. Because while Dawn Patrol flies before the sun comes up and they take the marker lights, the rest of us all fly at sunrise. We get a waiver to be able to go up a few minutes before sunrise here at Balloon Fiesta. But it's even then, just like with sunset, the sunset goes down at a certain time and you got light for 30 minutes. In the morning, you have light for about 30 minutes before it's officially sunrise.
There's our balloon of the day, Chick-fil-A, flown by Craig Kennedy. At least I think Craig's flying today. We didn't get any other text saying that he wasn't. And you can see the ride balloons getting ready to be prepared right behind him in that row. After the balloon of the day launches with the American flag. So we still wait to see what the status flag is going to show us, but I have an idea it's going to be one of those 2 colors that we always ask for in New Mexico, and it's not going to be the red one.
Yeah, the only red we're going to see is the Chick-fil-A balloon.
Right.
The red and white one.
That is correct.
Chick-fil-A presenting our Kids Day activities.
We're going to have Christmas, but it's going to be the Chick-fil-A balloon and that green flag.
There you go. Of course, Christmas is the answer, or probably one of the more common answers to the official New Mexico state question, and that is red or green, referring to red or green chili.
Have you seen the pen this year that they have for that balloon?
No, I haven't.
It's really cool. So it's about the size of a silver dollar.
Wow.
And in the center is the balloon, and one side is red, and you spin it, and the other side is green.
Oh, nice.
So we need to find those guys.
Yeah.
That's a really cool pin.
Well, and a partnership between Rainbow Riders, who operates that balloon, for the Visit Albuquerque group, which is the Tourism and Convention and Visitors Bureau, under the name of Visit Albuquerque.
And one of the many partnerships that, the late Scott Appleman put together with Rainbow Riders, his legacy will continue to go on, and we continue to remember Scott and everything he's done, not only just for his organization, Rainbow Riders, but the Balloon Fiesta and the entire ballooning community.
So, yeah, speaking of, and we're seeing those Rainbow Rider balloons starting to get some air in their balloons, as well as some activity down here on row A with the first row of balloons. And they're getting ready too, but we're still, someone's working my phone. What time is it?
20 some odd minutes from
sunrise.
sunrise.
Yeah, almost 30 because it's about 10 after or so. In fact, it's exactly 10 after. 7:10 would be.
So 30 minutes from now.
Yeah, but we'll get the national anthem off.
But what a great shot of the Sandia Mountains.
7 o'clock, and we've got a special flyover today. And here on the rooftop studio, since it's Kids Day, we have some folks up here. I don't know, I wouldn't call them kids necessarily. Hi, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, hold that up close to your mouth there. Tell us who you are.
My name is Kirsten. I'm from Albuquerque. I went to the Rio Grande Balloon Camp back in 2019, and I've gone to the Southeastern Balloon Camp three times since, twice as a camper and once as a counselor.
Who else?
All right. Hi, I'm Kennedy. I went to the Reno Tahoe Balloon Camp in 2024, and it was actually my first time going to a balloon camp.
Great. And?
I'm Echo, and I attended the High Sierra Balloon Camp this year and last year.
Wow. So, balloon camp, all three of you have been to balloon camp. What the heck is balloon camp?
Okay, so balloon camp is here to help kids learn how to fly balloons and just in general learn everything that you need to know about balloons.
Balloon camp also creates a connection between all of the kids. I mean, I've never even been to camp with these kids, and I recognize her. I met her a couple years ago, and we all know each other. We're all the balloon camp kids. We run around and we know each other from all across the country, and it creates these lifetime lasting connections where we form bonds over our shared love of the sport.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more some of the activities that happen at balloon camp.
Some of the activities that you'll see at balloon camp are we have pilots that actually lend their time and their balloons to allow the students to fly them and actually fly a real balloon.
Like pull on the vent and hit the burner and all that stuff?
Use the burner. It is everything, and a lot of the times the pilots will just sit back, make sure everything's going okay.
Yeah, so they're still, because you're basically a student pilot at that point, they're still like an instructor to you.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you get involved in balloon camp? Echo, you want to take that one?
Yeah. So how do you get involved in balloon camp? Literally, you just join. You don't have to know anything about balloons, been around a balloon, touched a balloon before, and you will still have an amazing time, and you won't feel left behind or anything. You just register and have fun.
And it's put together by the BFA.
Yep, BFA.
The Balloon Federation of America.
So I have a question. So how old were each of you, because you still are kids, how old were each of you when you got involved in ballooning or had a passion for ballooning?
For ballooning?
Yeah.
Well, I've been crewing here at Balloon Fiesta my entire life. And I went to balloon camp at 13 years old, and I actually have my license, and a couple kids from my camp have gotten their licenses since, and I got my license at 17 years old, and I don't know.
So I have been in this since my entire life. I've been crewing for my entire life, and then I actually joined balloon camp at 14, and I'm working on getting my license.
Excellent. Echo?
So I've been crewing for balloons for like 6 years now, and I did balloon camp when I was 15. And I have my student pilot license and my own balloon now.
Wow. Well,
Excellent.
I wish they had a balloon camp when I was around, but
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool. But the BFA youth camps, let your dreams take flight is what your guys' moniker is. It's for teens 13 to 17. There's 6 days and 5 nights. You don't need any experience, correct? You guys said that before. And learn to grow and create lifelong friendships. And I have to tell you a little story about me. I grew up in Albuquerque, and I've been to every balloon fiesta since the very first one as a 3-year-old. And I have a lifelong friend. I went to S.Y. Jackson Elementary School up in the Heights. We used to watch balloons land in the playground. And to this day, myself and Lachelle Pete, I don't know if you know who Lachelle is, we still connect and hang out and fly balloons together. So lifelong friendships. I wish you guys the best. I think it's fantastic. Ballooning is just a huge family.
It is, and Balloon Camp adds just so much. So thanks, Kristen, Kennedy, and Echo for coming up here and talking about the Youth Balloon Camp. And I guess we'll be seeing you, some of you there, whether you're students again or whether you're counselors going forward, right? Yep. All right. Thanks for coming up and talking about Balloon Camp. You can register for Balloon Camp at the BFA.net website starting in about March.
Yep. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks, gals. Appreciate it. What a great deal that is.
Awesome. Again, I'm jealous. I wish that there was a balloon camp when I was around.
Yeah.
My balloon camp was waking up at 4 a.m. and being fed a donut.
So, yep. So we kind of have a string of folks coming through here.
We do.
As being here at Chick-fil-A Kids Day, presented by Chick-fil-A at the Balloon Fiesta. As part of the extra activities, as Craig Kennedy stands up the Chick-fil-A balloon for us. As part of our national anthem this morning, we're also expecting a flyover from the U.S. Air Force this morning. And good morning.
Good morning.
Who do we have?
My name's Chief Master Sergeant Chris Ottenwest. I'm the senior enlisted leader for the 58 SAO and the folks that are going to be flying over today.
So what are we going to see?
So you're going to see an HH-60 helicopter, a Huey helicopter, the CV-22, and the new AC-130.
Wow. Yeah, and they'll be coming over with the national anthem. What is it like to be in an aircraft coming over the top of Balloon Fiesta?
It's going to be super exciting for that crew, just to see all the people and the balloons that are going to get ready to take off. And anytime they get to fly in a formation like that at a lower level is pretty exciting for them all too.
Yeah, so what kind of view do they, I mean, they're obviously having to pay attention to fly in the aircraft. Did they get a chance to kind of look over at the people in the balloons?
I hope they get an opportunity to take a look, but obviously the guys flying are going to be paying attention to where their guys are on their wings, and there will be some folks in there that are going to get to take a peek and see how things are looking down below.
And when you say low level, what are we going to expect over the top of Fiesta Field? How low are they going to come in?
I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure how low they're going to be, but they're going to be a lot lower than they normally fly. So my guess is
we're higher up. I want to make sure if I need to duck.
2 to a few thousand feet, yeah.
So tell us about the mission of the guys that, I mean, you don't do flyovers every single day. You've got a real mission to do besides entertaining us. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in the 58th SAO, our main mission is to train all the aircrew members that are coming through that will be eventually heading off to special operations, U.S. Air Force Rescue, and the folks that are going to be flying the Global Strike Missile Field Protection.
And that takes place here at Kirtland Air Force Base?
That all takes place right here at Kirtland Air Force Base.
Excellent, excellent. How big is the unit here?
So the organization's around, we got about 1,000 people here in Albuquerque, but our wings stretched across the country all the way from Alaska to North Carolina at about 7 different bases.
Wow, and how many people get trained at a time? I mean, what's kind of the training cycle like?
So between all of the things that we do, to include the survival training, we train around 14 to 15,000 students a year.
Wow.
And that happens almost every day.
Incredible. Did you have something?
No. I'm trying to.
You're trying to pay attention there?
Yep.
So we're going to watch for this. Tell us again what aircraft.
So you're going to get the new aircraft to the base is the AC-130.
And what kind of plane is that?
So it's a C-130. So it's a heavier cargo aircraft, just like the hat you have there.
The
thing that's a little bit different about the AC-130 is it has a couple pretty big guns on the side of it. That their whole mission is to protect the folks on the ground and do what they have to do in a special operations environment.
Okay, so that's a new one. What else is in there?
So you're going to have the HH-60, which is the helicopter similar to the Black Hawk that you may have seen in the movies.
Okay.
So they do a lot of rescue missions and support folks on the ground as well. And then you're going to have the Huey, which is your Vietnam-era helicopter-style looking thing.
Okay.
Right. So they do a lot of missile field protection, right, supporting the folks that are out there. And then they also fly out of the District of Washington, doing presidential support as well. And then the CV-22 is another special operations aircraft.
All right. We're going to watch for that. We are just about, looks like about 10 minutes away from the flyover and our national anthem. We'll let you get back to that. Master Sergeant, thanks for joining us here and telling us what we're going to see in just a few minutes at Balloon Fiesta.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Have a great morning.
You bet. We'll watch for that. Again, that's going to be as part of the national anthem. And Chick-fil-A is now standing up.
We just got a shot of what color flag is out there, and we were
did
right. It's going to be green.
It is Christmas.
The green flag is up at Fiesta Field at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. You talk about all the different people that come out here and support this event, and you were mentioning the hat. One of our
the one
chief,
you got
one
that
of
I
the,
did.
One of the chief safety officials, Dale Patton, who resides in Georgia, he actually is one of the individuals in our country that tests the new C-130Js when they come off the assembly line. So not only is he an accomplished balloon pilot, but he's out there flying these massive planes and testing them as they come off the assembly line from Lockheed Martin.
I always knew that he was involved, and I thought he was in some sort of the testing program, but I didn't know exactly what he did. I did have a conversation with him this morning, or yesterday morning as well, and he was talking about asking me how I thought you were doing, because you actually had a conversation with him down there on the competition area this morning, or yesterday morning.
Yeah.
He's been tasked with setting off the smoke that tells everybody that the competition is over for the morning. That way, when you're coming in on your balloon and all of a sudden you see the smoke down there, that's the visual clue that you didn't get to the target in time. Or if you did and you've gone beyond the target, you say, yes, I made it before the smoke. Yeah.
And we only had one yesterday that just came in a little too late.
Yep. But then there's Kevin Osborne, who sneaks in within the last 2 minutes.
He's always there at the end.
He is.
Throwing up that buzzer, buzzer beater.
I actually asked him about that last night when he was up here after the show. And Kevin was telling me that he kind of, since this is his first year at Balloon Fiesta, he's still kind of learning about where to launch and all those types of things. So he kind of follows his uncle around, Dwayne Osborne, who's been here numerous times. And sometimes his uncle is kind of, I'm going to go here. No, maybe I'm going to go here. And so there's a lot of indecision on where to actually take off from.
Right.
So we're still about 6 minutes away from our national anthem. Let's quickly go down to Diane and see what she has found for us.
This is Erin, and this is Mariah.
Well, I'm still looking at this Chick-fil-A bags. The cereal is gone, but the toothbrush is left. You're not going to brush your teeth on the field, are you? How is the cereal?
Good.
Good. What do you think about this bag?
I like it.
Hi, honey. What's your name? What's your name?
Mariah.
Mariah. Can you tell me what's in this bag?
I don't know.
You don't know? A lot of fun things. Mom, you come out here with the kids?
Yes, we're here. We're from Albuquerque and enjoying our time.
Okay. We have a big kid here. Come on, big kid. You want to show me your cow ears? You can put them on. What's your name?
Zachariah.
How old are you?
12.
12. He's a tall 12-year-old. He must be eating a lot of Chick-fil-A.
Yep, definitely.
What do you like about the Balloon Fiesta?
How many balloons are and the different variety?
How many times have you come in your 12 years?
2 times, right?
A few times. Okay, put this in your pocket. You know it's important to brush after you eat that Chick-fil-A. Honey, what do you have? Cereal? You didn't have yours yet?
No.
When are you going to eat yours?
Probably when we get to the house.
Thank you. What a lovely family you have. Okay, everybody go chick. What do chickens do? How do they say? Moo, moo.
Moo.
There between chickens and that other meat. But,
right.
Yeah. Eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken. So Tristan McLean has stood up the ExxonMobil balloon. The white and blue balloon you're seeing on the screen, that's the Intel balloon. The red and yellow one is the Zia balloon from the McConnell family, carrying the banner for TLC Plumbing and Heating. We're seeing there a number of our ride balloons, right kind of standing up in the middle, the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, the one that's actually burning for us. Way off on the left-hand side, there's the Aggie balloon kind of squeezed in there. There's Tristan and ExxonMobil. We'll watch when he takes off for the tip of the cowboy hat. He's done that right on cue for us so far.
Every single time. And you like that Aggie balloon shot, I know.
I know.
Because it gives you that perspective of how big those ride balloons are as opposed to what a normal every weekend, everyday balloon is that people fly.
The Aggie balloon is not small.
No.
It's the regular size, so it really does show you that. What's really interesting, one year we actually put a little hopper balloon that was about 56,000 cubic feet. We put that out there next to these 235 or 250,000 cubic feet balloons, and you really see the difference there.
Well, I think I showed you a picture that I had on my camera roll of the old. We talked about the big one that Sid Cutter had, and there was a small little, I think 65,000 cubic foot balloon in front of that, and it just was massive. You could fit, 6 of those inside of the big one.
Yeah.
That's a lot of chicken, too.
It is. Hey, and that little green thing at the bottom of ExxonMobil, that's our Snowbird, one of our special shapes, already getting some cold air into Snowbird. We're just waiting for word as the clock ticks down. Try and coordinate this not only with the Main Street stage announcer, but with the balloon of the day, with our Air Force flyover. A lot of moving parts here that we want to time it all out for you very nicely.
Yeah, you had asked me about what people thought, how I was doing. I did not know what to expect coming up here on the rooftop studio with you. And it's been a learning experience. You know, I learned how to fly a balloon. Now I'm learning how to do a television production. You have people talking in your ears. You're not sure who's talking. So if you lose your train of thought sometimes, it's something that you just got to get used to. And I'm really liking this new perspective and hopefully giving everyone out there on the air and online the good knowledge that you need to learn about ballooning in Albuquerque, because that is one thing that I do miss.
Well, great feedback so far. If you have feedback for us, you can send us an email at balloons@balloonfiesta.com. Balloons@balloonfiesta.com. We'd love to hear what you think of Balloon Fiesta Live. In fact, you can send to that address anything about Balloon Fiesta. That is the place to let us know what you think. And while we do some surveys of people here on the field, those of you who are watching across the world, there's the address, balloons@balloonfiesta.com. Email us. In fact, you can email us any single time, balloons@balloonfiesta.com. We'd love to hear from you and appreciate you taking the time to do that. Down here in the front row, Intel standing up. Andrew Brindley flying Intel for us. I see Xfinity farther over on the east side, as well as our Coca-Cola balloon. Steve Mitchell flying Coca-Cola for us.
And there's Tristan McLean in the ExxonMobil with Snowbird. And, you know, normally Don Edwards is flying the Snowbird balloon, but this year it's Michael Johnson from Mitchell, Nebraska. And Tommy McConnell right there to the left of Tristan.
So we are at the 2-minute mark, and so that all of this times nicely, let's go ahead and pick up the public address announcer, Mr. Bill Royal.
With our national anthem, the Albuquerque Girl Choir.
Oh, say, can you see?
I love the sound. The helicopters, the heavy aircraft, the power sound of those with our national anthem. And then kind of following them out, Craig Kennedy and the Chick-fil-A balloon.
Yes. I'm sure we'll get the wave from Craig as he comes over the rooftop studios, wearing his ears and flying the flag.
He had the ears on. A great shot as he took off.
There they are waving at us.
All right.
I always love those flyovers. They just, whether it's a sporting event or whatnot, that gives you that energy and that burst and that goose bump around the whole body. Like we're ready to rock and roll this morning.
And we have the great Chile Express flights, but those are little planes with smaller engines. They just don't send the noise and the power. I mean, you could feel those Air Force jets flying overhead.
Yes, it's just that pounding noise. It just gets you going in the morning.
Everything's just going great. Yeah, and that means we are officially underway with Friday morning Special Shapes Day, Kids Day, presented by Chick-fil-A. What a great morning we are in for this morning.
As you mentioned in the past, we have basically two launches. We have here Tristan McLean taking off in the Exxon Mobil Enchanted Horizons balloon.
So we'll watch for his tip of the hat.
Yes, the tip of the hat's going to come right about now.
There it is. It's always great that he does wear that cowboy hat because it's real easy to see when he tips it to everyone. Yeah.
Using those turning vents that we've talked about numerous times.
And there's his banner number, 599. And our Rainbow Riders balloons. They're about midway down the field, and so we can launch from the middle and the south end at the same time and keep things safe.
Yeah, so I was about to say that before Tristan launched. We have basically two launches going off towards the north end, the middle of the field, and then the south end will launch in those rows, and you'll see that three-row rule starting. If you can look beyond, there's the Rainbow Riders, and you're seeing them go off right now. But from our vantage point on the rooftop studios, you can start to see the other balloons beyond Tommy McConnell and the Coca-Cola balloon getting ready to cold inflate.
And when we get our balloon camera in the sky, a lot of times you'll be able to point that out to you. Balloons standing up, balloons in the cold inflation stage, and then balloons that are stretched out, and then even behind them, balloons that are still on the truck.
But today it's Pat Irwin flying in competition, correct?
Right.
So he'll be coming in.
That's right.
But should get a great shot of some special shapes that are on the field if they elect to stay and not fly. The wind conditions need to be almost perfect for those larger balloons. So like the Zozober balloon and or Arabelle, they want to be very safe. And so I would anticipate those staying on the field. But you never know. The pilot gets a little excited and
well, it's always great when they stay on the field because more people can see them. When they inflate, get up and fly away, okay, we saw it, we went that way, and then people on the other end see it. But this way, by standing on the field, you actually get a chance to see the balloon a little more close up and personal. There goes Tom McConnell in the Zia balloon, while Diane Kinderwater has found someone else having a great time here at Balloon Fiesta. Diane?
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm counting my layers. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 layers on because we know in Albuquerque you dress in layers at Fiesta. But if you don't have layers, you could use a space blanket like Noel and Liz from Golden, Colorado have. Tell me did you have this in your car for an emergency?
I did it just in case there was a, avalanche or something in Colorado and we got trapped. So we brought it here today for this because we were cold yesterday when we came in. So
how's it working?
Works good. Yeah, it's nice. And it's light and easy to carry. And it attracts cameras.
It's bright. I like bright. Liz, you're laughing, Liz.
Oh, yeah, I was real happy he was wearing it as we were crossing the balloon field.
Got a lot of people looking at you. Well, it attracted me and Balloon Fiesta Live. But actually it works. It keeps you warm.
Yeah, works good.
Well, you're from Colorado. You didn't have a jacket, a coat, a parka?
Just had a fleece. That's it. Just a little fleece.
You heard it was going to be 88 degrees here in Albuquerque today, so you decided to have your space blanket. Well, thank you, and you've got the best seat here. You really do.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
We're coming back. This is the best seat.
We did this on another TV interview. We're on the far west side, right by the golf course and the dunes, and this is the best place. Shh. Shh. I said, don't tell anybody, right?
Don't tell anybody.
People from Colorado discovered it. That's pretty amazing. They're from Colorado and they found it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're going to be stripping that off pretty soon, I imagine.
Will. Yes. As soon as the sun comes up.
Right when the sun comes. This is the coldest part of the morning, right before the sun rises. We know that.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great time.
Thanks, Diane.
Don't get too close to the burners with that. He may go airborne with one of those space blankets.
Yeah, you could.
I just took a little quick peek down to the south because the way we have our stage set up this year, we're kind of facing the south back behind us. And at this point, I don't see any component of a box. They seem like they're all staying fairly low, but again, the sun has not crusted the Sandias, so we will probably see many changes between now over the next half hour and even before competition starts at 8 a.m.
And it is those competitors that are going to be more concerned about the box, because if their first pass across the target isn't quite right, or if they're not lined up right, they can go back up and try it again. Those are the balloons, these balloons that are launching now. They're just off for a good flight, checking the bucket list items, or just having a great flight off the field. And off to the south, they'll go find a nice landing site in the city, or maybe even on the other side of the airport in some big, wide, open areas. And so we'll just continue to watch folks get airborne. Here comes one of the Rainbow Riders right over the head as we see the PNC Bank. And off to the left, the beautiful World Balloon, the latest in the series of World Balloons. Sid Cutter, founder of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, and it was World Championships was his company because they were putting on the first and the second World Championships. Later became World Balloon Corporation, and so he made balloons with the world, and there were a number of those. And so now we have Beautiful World, and Beautiful World has not only the flags of all the places around the world that Sid and his wife Jewel have been, but also there are pins on the maps of places that were special to the two of them.
So I hear Diane is working a crown line or on a crown line. Diane, what do you have for us down there on the field?
Well, I'm finding you and our worldwide audience a lot of contrast here at the Balloon Fiesta. As I told you, I had my 6 or 7 layers. We saw the gentleman from Golden wearing a space blanket. And now I got Cliff here, shirtless. Cliff, he's working really hard right now. Maybe that's why he doesn't have I know why he doesn't have a shirt on, because he's going to tell us. He's been crewing over 20 years, and he's really working hard for Lofty the balloon. Cliff, very unique. I've never seen this in my 30-plus years of coming to Balloon Fiesta, a shirtless crew member.
I've been here every year, and we've been in C9. We even did the old field. How you got it, Paul?
Oh, there.
Oh, I got it.
So, Cliff, wait, well, we're telling people why you're shirtless. You can't go away.
I'm shirtless because I build up a lot of heat when I run down. I run long distances. In a week or so, I'll be at the Duke City Marathon. I'll be pacing the 5-hour pace group leader.
But you ran to the field today.
I ran to the field. My house is about 5 miles uphill, so it's a 4-mile run downhill. So it's not very strenuous, but I build up a lot of heat. I will get cold, and that's our 1960 Apache that we use for Balloon Fiesta, and I'll ride in the back. And I will actually put this on and zip it up and
But it got a little. You told me it got a little sweaty when you ran down here, so you had to take it off because that got cold. Your
Well,
shirt.
it was a different shirt, yeah. So the different shirt's put away because it is wet. I mean, if you take it out, it's flat wet because I sweat when I run down.
Well, how wonderful and very strenuous. I mean, you run, but then being a crew member with that line is very strenuous as well.
Yeah, running crown. I mean, mostly you just use your body weight. If you get a good hold on it, you just lean back, and there wasn't much wind.
Thank you so much, and good luck in the Duke City Marathon coming up in next week. I think next Sunday. I'll be running it too.
It's a week from Sunday.
I'll be running it too. Not the marathon. People say, "Oh, you're running the Duke City." Well, the 10K.
Well, there you go.
And I'm with the stopper, clompers, and geezers at the very end of the line. They're all wheezing and going, and that's me. I'm with them. So you'll be passing by me a few times, I'm sure.
Sounds good, Diane.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for stopping. Bye. Back to you in the studio.
Lift part of the lofty balloon with Jerry Graff piloting, and there's the Beautiful World balloon that we talked about a few moments ago, going right by the studio, and that is the radar and lightning detector part of the weather station here on our rooftop studio. Right above it, the anemometer, and it's not moving very fast.
Nope, not
like we
much different than yesterday.
Yeah,
yes.
that we've seen in previous days. Again, this is Special Shapes Day, and so we see a number of special shapes actually starting to inflate down the east side of the field as the Xfinity balloon went flying by. Look at these tops.
Yes, that's Barks and
Wags.
Wags, yeah.
With the dog bones. You mentioned the dog bones in the top the other day. I hadn't seen the dog bones up there yet. Wags was here last year, joined this year by Barks. A couple of golden retrievers, and they qualify for special shapes because
the nose
has been made as a little appendage.
I guess I can't get out of my head. I kept thinking running with Forrest Gump there a second ago.
Yeah.
So
more Rainbow Riders ride balloons going off just off the right side of the screen. Cottywomple. We've talked about Mike Heffron and his balloon.
And I noticed he's using the turning vents more because obviously we got that phone call or that text off to him, so maybe we'll be able to get a better shot as he comes closer to the rooftop studio.
And what we're looking for is the fact that his basket is equipped to carry wheelchairs, and they have put plexiglass as part of the side of the basket so that if you are in his basket in a wheelchair, you can still see out. So we'll kind of watch him as we continue to launch a number of our regular shaped balloons. We get the field cleared of these balloons and our special shape standing up. Then our competitors will be cleared to come into the field. Competition scheduled to start at 8 o'clock.
And I'll be down there calling all the action from the middle of the field while you'll be up here in the nice warm rooftop studio.
Well, I at least have a heater, yes. But you'll be in the sun a lot sooner than I will be.
Let me tell you, when you're down there, all the action that's going on, you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. You know, we have a spotter, we have a camera spotter, we have our camera down there, and you just got to be on your toes because you have baggies flying and rings tossing and balloons flying by. So I think this is shaping up to be a little bit slower than it was yesterday, hopefully.
I think it is.
So our competitors can get in. Yesterday they had a little bit more difficulty, you know, being a pilot, coming in and following the rules of not getting below 75 feet before you get over the field was difficult yesterday because of the wind speeds. Hopefully that will change today, especially as the sun comes over the Sandias and mixes down, and we can have some people ring some poles and take some good money home with them from the 52nd annual Albuquerque International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta, powered by
ExxonMobil. And Henry Rosenbaum has just sent me the official task sheet for today. As we predicted, the poles are now going to be worth $2,000 each. So you get a ring on there. That's going to be $2,000. There'll be 5 poles out there like yesterday. And they're going to put 5 X's out there in a hesitation waltz configuration. So basically the same exact setup as yesterday, that pilots are going to have an opportunity to come in, ring the pole, win money, throw your X on the marker, get big points, and be in the money in the overall competition as well as the daily competition, because we've divided our pilots into groups. And so you can be a group winner, you can be an overall daily winner, and then you're into the overall for the entire 4 days of competition. And we'll be awarding all of that tomorrow about 11 o'clock. You and I will be the MCs of that awards brunch. We will not do that live, but we will record it, and then as soon as we can Saturday afternoon, we'll post
Get it up
so that you can go back and watch that online.
Before we go see Diane, Troy Bradley, we heard in the weather brief, talked about the fact that the wind would slow down as they got closer to the middle of Montagna Road, and that's exactly what we're seeing. But I hear Diane has something very special going on down there.
From shirtless to, well, let's just go and see.
Bliss.
Yeah. Diane, take it away.
Okay, go.
For as much as JW and Rhonda have consented together in marriage and have witnessed the same before us, have pledged themselves to each other and declared the same by giving and receiving a ring, I announce to you that they are husband and wife. You may greet each other with a kiss.
All right. Beautiful flowers, Rhonda, JW. Congratulations.
Thank you.
JW. Okay, Rhonda, please to get your flowers. You're the bride. You wanted to get married in the basket at Fiesta?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Where else can a person not have to dress up in a suit and a tie? You can just come out in your balloon jackets, yes.
I've seen some tuxedos around here, JW.
Yeah.
JW works at the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, and his lovely bride, Rhonda, has been out here at Fiesta. Congratulations, Rhonda. Who is all here celebrating your wedding today?
Got all of our family. He's got lots of friends.
Yep, her daughter is behind her. Chris is right behind you.
She made it. She made it.
Yep. She made it.
My Pat is here.
Yep. My daughter made it. Yep.
Come on.
Orlando.
Congratulate the bride and groom. Don't let Balloon Fiesta Live stop you from congratulating the bride and groom. Get in there. Get in there. Pretty exciting here at Fiesta. JW again with the Chamber of Commerce, Sufin, and his beautiful bride, Rhonda. They met in Carlsbad. She was from Texas. And they have all their cousins and friends and family from Texas and around the country here at Balloon Fiesta. And we're glad to bring it to you with Balloon Fiesta Live.
So you know that every year your anniversary, you know where you're going to go on your anniversary.
If you forget your anniversary, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you're really in trouble when it happens at Balloon Fiesta.
I have to tell you, the 6 degrees of separation for Ted, that gentleman is the father-in-law of my ex-balloon partner's brother. Did you guys get all that straight? So Chris Gorenflow, we've talked about the Gorenflows. Wrong Way is the father of Chris and Michael Gorenflow. Michael flies Airflow out here, and I saw him inflating. He'll probably take off here in a second. And they moved from Albuquerque to Florida. And I said, wow, I saw him downstairs. I hadn't seen him in forever. Their kids are grown. I feel really old. And at the end of the day, their house is good. Everything's fine down there. But they said, hey, we're here for a wedding. And so we sent Diane out there. So congratulations to JW and Rhonda for their wonderful day here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, a day they better not forget.
As well as, I think that's the second wedding we've actually had on this year. There are engagements going on there as well. Hey, you know, the local ABC affiliate, Channel 7, KOAT, they are broadcasting our Balloon Fiesta Live on their website as well this week. And so folks, KOAT viewers are watching. And I was talking with their on-air or their web producer, their digital producer, Vince, and checking on how that was going. And he mentioned to me that he had hoped to actually get engaged on Balloon Fiesta Live. He didn't tell me ahead of time, so we didn't get him on there, but Vince got engaged here at Balloon Fiesta earlier this week.
Congratulations,
so congratulations to Vince. We saw Doug Gamp take Hamlet out of here a few minutes ago. There's Arabelle, as well as Wally, the Nemo fish, Pegasus, the pig with the sunglasses, and more of our shapes look like they might be flying today.
Yes.
In fact, there goes,
is taking off.
There goes Wags and Barks. Vampirilla we see from here, and also the Carnival balloon.
Mark Meyer from Vass, North Carolina. We've talked about him a couple times. I'm not a fan of the clowns, but you know, it's a good looking balloon.
I like this one. Of course, I also like Olaf. I like Olaf. I'm not so sure about Coco. That has the sad clown face on one side. but it at least has a happy clown face on the other side. So look at how full the sky is already, and we're barely getting started. But they're coming down south. They're coming into the city today of Albuquerque. We don't see much of a box, if anything at all. I don't see anybody up there coming back.
I think we'll see most of our competitors start north and try and work their way in. You know, those competitors have their way with the winds.
There's another tip of the hat.
Yes. That is Vampirilla flying right over the top of us.
And that's who was waving at us?
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Rich Lawhorn has Humpty Dumpty in the sky. There he is.
Yep. He was pushed, I've always been told.
Yeah, put some heat in him and away he goes. No push necessary. Hey, Evo, our friendly blue little monster guy.
Right behind him, Intelligent Design, also known as the Brain.
And that looks like the pumpkin might be the orange, right? Miss Autumn. And so we're launching not only special shapes, but regular shapes. Get a number of balloons off the ground so that we can have our competition. There's Bob the Light Tower. Behind him, the Rax Building Supplies, the Farmers Insurance with Frankie Martinez and Rod Baca.
Both local pilots here in Albuquerque.
I saw Meow Wolf in there. There's the Blaser oil drum. And baby T-Rex breaking out of his little egg.
Yes,
peeking around
Rex
that
Jennings.
red balloon. So I don't know. Diane's brought us shirtless people, people in space blankets,
tons of kids,
and a wedding. So what else could she?
How
have
is she
found
gonna?
for
She's
us?
got to outdo herself. So let's,
All
let's
right,
see
Diane.
Diane.
So I'm over here with the balloon chain gang, and I said, where's the pilot? Where's the pilot? Going around looking for the pilot, because I didn't expect such a beautiful pilot as in Margaret from Idaho. Thank you, Margaret. Look at her smile.
Thank you. I just want to say hi to my mom. She's been watching every day, all 6 years that I've attended this.
She's been watching Balloon Fiesta live.
She has. Yeah, she's a huge fan.
Where does she live?
Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana.
She's watching now. She's going to see you live on Balloon Fiesta Live. But again, it was so funny. You laughed at what I was looking. I said, where's the pilot? Where's the pilot? And you said,
I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here.
And we have the owner of the balloon.
Actually, my husband, Lloyd Wright. My husband is Tom Wright. And my sons are both pilots also. Okay. Tommy and Jonathan.
And they're ready to take off. We're going to watch you take off.
Those two first. They have this all coordinated with us over here. They're going to launch those two first to give me the room to go.
You need room, Margaret?
Room. Yeah, we're just taking. Well, you know, sometimes they say ladies first, but in this case, they're going to let the pie balls go first.
They have beautiful pilots over there as well. We're not sure.
They're handsome and they're kind, and we all get along in D7. So it's nice to be here. It's a nice square. Yeah.
The sort of matching balloon is my son flying that one, Tommy Wright.
So this is a family affair.
It is. This is a total family event because this is my uncle, who's also a balloon pilot from Wyoming, and he taught me to fly.
Andy.
What kind of pilot is she?
I taught her some of what she knows, and then she took it from there.
Watch you still take off. Appreciate you. Congratulations.
This entire field is gridded, and so the rows start right down here by us. We've talked about folks in the row A, and then it works it's all the way up to row W on the other end of the field. If you're all the way over on Main Street, we start with row number 1, and it goes all the way to row number 11 on the far west side. So D7 is going to be back 4 rows from the south end and in 4 rows from the west side, or 7 rows from the east side.
Well, you heard her mention everyone here on the D rows tends to be friendly with one another. You actually have pilots throughout the year that request to be around their friends at certain areas. So
yes, they do.
You have your people in like Q9 or J8 or L8. That's the late row. L8.
The late row,
Late
yes.
row, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What a great shot. We got Meow Wolf to the left down there, Intelligent Design flying over off out of the field.
Bob the Lighthouse standing up. There's Lulu on the right-hand side. Our Cheetah, Meow Wolf over on the left, right behind the chicken in the egg.
Don Doherty from Colorado Springs. Don, I stand corrected. You were from the great state of Colorado up there, but Don Doherty, and then above him, Karen Converse.
Yeah, the balloon's flying right by over the top as Bob stands up. There's the brain.
Again, if you look south, that's looking south. Those larger ride balloons are just kind of still. Exactly what Brad Tiemeyer and the crack weather team talked about in the pilot's briefing earlier. Those guys put in some serious hours, and we appreciate everything that they do, even though they wake me up at 3 a.m.
Yeah. There goes Mark Yoakum in Air Rocky Top, the white at the top with the green, the blue sky and the green mountains. And we're starting to get some heat. They're releasing the tie-off line. Not quite releasing it, but getting it loose so that it, as she takes off, it just slides right out and away she goes. But now that they've launched the 2 balloons in front of her,
she's all alone.
She'll be buoyant. There goes the tie-off line. She's moving along, hands off, and the wave. And have a great flight.
Absolutely. That was a nice takeoff. Have fun, Margaret, from Victor, Idaho.
And I thought with the right name, the blue with the kind of square chains on it. There's a regular shaped one like that you see it right there on the screen. There's a racer that has that type of design
just
as well.
Just took off before her.
So, oh, the racer did.
Yes.
Yeah, we did see it there quickly. But there they go. So, Mom, you got to see him.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. All the way down in Shreveport, Louisiana.
There you go. And thanks for being a big fan, Mom. We appreciate that.
There's that sun. It's not gotten to the field yet, but those balloons that are up. I think this is Pat Irwin right here.
It is.
Out.
So he has found his launch site, and he's going to put his balloon up there and attempt to fly over the field and ring a pole and drop a baggie on one of the 5 X's. There are 5 poles as well. So again, about 250 of our balloons have gone elsewhere, as Pat has, and found the perfect launch site to get here.
What a great shot.
Yep. And look, the sun is getting the top balloons. The lower ones aren't quite in it yet as we see the sun work its way across the field. Now that we have passed official sunrise, it just has to get a little bit higher to get over the mountain. Buddy Beaver. We were talking with Dave and Kathy Reinecke last night. They used to own that balloon. It was Mr. Potato Head. And, of course, it got reconfigured to be Buddy Beaver. Now they fly Peg Leg Pete, who we should be seeing standing up. I see it. In fact, I see it on the south end of the field, just kind of still stretched out. There's Bandit, Diane Carlson from Plano, Texas.
Yeah, a shout out to the ladies at the Plano Pen Company tent out there. They said, man, we sure miss you out there on the field hearing what's going on, but I told them how to listen live. So hopefully they're listening live in the tent. We have the Blaser Swiss Lube balloon coming right over the top of the rooftop studios.
And giving us a good wave. There you go. We got you, man.
That's Rick Pendle from Annabelle, Pennsylvania. Hey, a fellow Pennsylvanian.
Later in the competition, we'll see the regular shape Swiss Lube balloon with David Strassman. David was the overall winner last year, and he's been at the target every day this week.
Although he was a special shape yesterday getting into Fiesta Field.
Yeah.
Making those terminal descents, kind of questioning mark out that balloon. I had to look away.
Yes.
Well, now Diane has animals.
Animals.
No, not a cow this time.
Not a cow, but it is black and white.
Yes. Diane, who do you have for us?
I got Kat, the launch director, and I stopped because you were so adorable there. Model, turn around. And you're saying that Deborah Rice was giving her passengers the all-important instructions.
I might. Hey, tell Ted to get back on the field.
Get back on the field, Ted.
All right, if you're ready, Deborah, let's get you out of here. All right, watch out, folks. I'm going to be coming through to clear crowd.
There she goes. Now, there goes Kat. She's getting all the field clear. And now we got Deborah Rice. She's busy. Let's watch her launch.
Up and then pulling the vent so that she doesn't climb too fast. There we see her. And we mentioned Rod Baca and Farmers Insurance. He is now airborne, going right over the top of us down here.
Another fantastic shot right there. You have Bruce Pivick in the Wyoming balloon, Patrick Smith in Maryland 1. I think that's a straight up balloon team from Fort Worth, Texas, to the right there. And you have Pix from Katy, Texas. That's Jim and Lisa's balloon, the Williams.
More of our special shapes are now standing up. I see Alicorn. I see the Sloth. I see Olaf.
Snorkel.
Snorkel is out there.
I still got to track those guys down.
And we saw, there's Alicorn. I'm not sure what the banner is on the side of Alicorn.
Highway.
Walk of Dreams. A Million Dreams. Walk of Dreams.
The sun's about to hit Fiesta Field here any moment, but it's
coming over the trees, over the river as I look behind. And there goes Alicorn.
There you see Olaf, and we got some, ask and we shall receive from all of our crack staff viewers as well. Malcolm White sent me something about that balloon, and a little bit of trivia from Ireland. Olaf, the clown, was designed and built by an Irish pilot, Aidan Murphy, as an act of philanthropy for the Bardstown Camp, a charity for disadvantaged children created by Paul Newman, the actor, in County Wicklow, Ireland. Sadly, Aidan passed away far too young from a cancer years ago, but the balloon was sold. So why Olaf? Its original registration was G-Laugh, so golf laugh. So changing the registration to D Olaf meant less unpicking and resewing.
Okay.
So thank you, Malcolm, for that bit of trivia.
And we got that shot just in time because Little Dog just kind of stood up right in front of him. And there's Alicorn along with Pegasus. And they barely off the ground, and they're into the sun. They're a little bit higher now, but it didn't take them very long to get off the ground, and the sun is there. And now the sun is actually starting to hit the middle of the field on the south end. There's one of our frogs. There's the backside. That Seibel ballooning is the backside of Snorkel, and just kind of over the top before the frog stands up.
That's Kermie. Kermie
Is that
the frog.
Yeah, it is Kermie, isn't it?
Toby Brown from Denver, Colorado. one of the Monahan Airways special shapes from upstate New York.
And the sloth is flying. There's the backside of the sloth.
Pico the sloth. Yes, that's another one of their balloons.
Slowly getting a little bit of turn.
Look at that great shot of the plane going right behind the sloth.
I always wondered what it would look like in a commercial airliner taking off from the Albuquerque International Airport and just kind of circling right around the field, either on your way in or on your way out.
Yeah, it would be cool, but then we couldn't be here. So,
yeah.
I remember one year I was flying somewhere and they were doing the Gallup rally, and we took off. I was flying to Phoenix, and I was able to actually get some pictures. You could see the little balloons down there, little dots in the sky.
Yeah, they would be. That's the thing.
Yes. Yeah.
A lot of people think that if you go to the top of the crest, the top of the Sandia Mountains, you're going to have a great view of the glow. Unfortunately, while you have a great view, it's a little too far away and things are a little too tiny.
Yep.
That's not the most perfect shot to see Balloon Fiesta from. There are really two great spots to watch Balloon Fiesta from, on the field and online with Balloon Fiesta Live.
100%. There's Mazu from Taiwan. The detail on that balloon is amazing.
It is. It is. From the braids hanging down to the earrings and all the decorative work on the clothing. That's just, that's great.
There we see Hunter the Fox, right next to Arabelle. Great crowd out here on Kids Day, sponsored by Chick-fil-A on our Friday at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
So it looks like we're about maybe close to halfway of getting the regular shapes out of here. More and more special shapes are standing up. And joining us here on the rooftop studio, Balloon Meister Henry Rosenbaum.
Good morning, Art. Good morning, Ted. And to your whole crew that's here, good morning.
Hey, it looks like another great day, huh?
It is a fantastic day. To look back and think we've been flying every day up to today. That's 7 days in a row to have balloons in the air, and our nighttime activities as well. And we are knocking on wood that the weather looks good for the rest of the weekend as well. So if you're making a decision to come out here, come on out. You're going to see a fantastic show, not only this morning, but tonight and tomorrow as well, and Sunday.
So yesterday we had poles and X's as targets. What's up for today?
We have the same thing. We've got the same 5 poles that will be up. It's the unique thing about those poles is that the pilots have a ring, and they've got to be not only close enough, but they've got to put the ring over the pole, and it's going to slide down that pole. And the pole's about 30 feet tall. This ring is worth $2,000 if they get it over the pole.
Yeah.
And we have 20 envelopes with $2,000 to give away. That's amazing. So thank you to the Fiesta and the staff for providing that to the pilots. We didn't have anybody yesterday ring it, so we're going to hopefully today see 20 of these on those poles. And we've got 5 opportunities to ring it.
So the first 20 people to get a ring, $2,000.
Yes, sir.
Wow,
yes.
That's great.
Yep.
And the markers, of course, contribute to the overall.
Yeah, the markers we have. There's a good catch. We have 5 targets for the pilots to throw markers, and each pilot has a marker like this, and it'll have their name and competition number on the tail of the, as we call it, the baggie. And their task is to throw it as close to the center of that X that's on the ground, and they've got 5 of those in the scoring area, so they can choose any one of those. And as the scoring team, we'll measure anywhere in that scoring area. Ideally, you'd like to be within inches. That's what's going to get you a first place. But if you're at the end, or fraction of inches,
because sometimes we've seen that.
Yeah, we've actually seen it. There's a nail that marks the center of the X, and we've seen it where the baggie is touching, leaning on that nail, which is we call it a dead center, 0-0 mark.
0-0.
And it's not uncommon to see that, especially with these 200 competitors that we have here at Fiesta. We've got some world-class and world championship competitors that are here flying at Fiesta.
And we've had some rookies come across that have scored very well, we noticed as well.
Yes, we've got some rookies that are doing well. We've got some international pilots that are doing well. So that's the thing about our sport. It's not, all ages, all people from throughout the world can come and join and take place in this activity, and they'll be in the leaderboard or on the top as well.
So we have a lot of special shapes, about 120 some special shapes here, but we have one that is especially close and dear to your heart. You want to talk about Tiny?
It is, and I brought you a pin, and I got a pin for all of your crew. It's Tiny the Fire Dog. Back home I'm I'm always a firefighter, but I'm fortunate I just retired last Friday.
Congratulations.
I'm a retired firefighter now. But,
congratulations.
But as the fire service, it was my profession. Ballooning was my passion, and been ballooning for just as long as I've been a firefighter. But had the opportunity to build a special shaped Fire Dog balloon, and we named him Tiny, and that's named after R.C. Dawson, or Tiny Dawson as we knew him in our fire department. He was a retired deputy chief who's no longer with us, but we carry his memory with him by naming the balloon after him, Tiny. A couple of uniquenesses about Tiny. To remember all the fallen emergency workers, he's got a collar, and that collar has a red band on one side that represents our firefighters and EMS, and then on the other side, the blue thin line represents our law enforcement. And then I want to also recognize on the back side of the collar is a yellow band, and many people think about it, but that's for our communications folks. And those communication folks are equally as important as the responders that come to the scene, because they're the first ones to take that call. They're going to take the emergency information, they're going to give you emergency instructions, and then they're going to stay on the line and keep us safe and give us instructions as well. So that's to remember all of the emergency services providers that would come to any incident. And then the last thing is, on the back of Tiny is a message that's near and dear to my heart.
It's move over.
It is. It's move over.
Move
Thank
over.
you. 6 years ago today, we lost a dear friend and a fellow firefighter We lost a fellow firefighter back home, and it was on the scene of an accident. Tragic. He lost his life when the tractor trailer hit the fire truck. And since that day, I have made a mission that we're going to carry a move over message, and we carry that move over message on many of our balloons. And it's just to remind all the drivers, and more importantly our future drivers, is that when you see emergency workers, you see road workers, you see your mom and dad or somebody's mom and dad changing a tire on the side of the road, slow down, move over, and give those people some space. It's truly a tragedy or incidents that we can prevent as drivers, and it's just a message we want to carry. So, and it goes across all boards of public safety, road workers, and even us as pedestrians or civilians on the side of the road. So, thank you. I get emotional, and it just so happens today is the 6th year when I was here at Fiesta and got that call that Thursday evening that the incident had occurred back home. So, thank you for allowing me to share that. But that is truly a message that we can all take and adhere to when we're driving our vehicles.
So whether it's the full-size Tiny the Fire Dog or the remote control Tiny the Fire Dog, think about it. Think about our first responders, our communications workers, and move over for those folks who are helping save lives and make things safer on the roads.
Yep, and thank you. And not to take away, but we've got, as you said, 100+ shapes here, and we're able to fly them today. They're putting on a spectacular show. Some of the shapes may stay in static, and that's fantastic. And then at 8 o'clock, the competitors will start coming in. So we're putting on a fantastic show, and we'll be back again tonight to do another glow, and back here tomorrow. So it's Fiesta, and there's nowhere else in the world that you can come and see 9 days of balloon activities for 14 sessions. So thank you, your crew, for everything that you do. It's a fantastic job, and we do it for the spectators. I see the smiles on the little kids' faces, but more importantly, I see the smiles on the adults. That's what makes it worthwhile.
Exactly. Henry Rosenbaum, our Balloon Meister, I know you got to get back to work as we transition from our launch to our competition coming on here. So thanks for stopping by, and thanks to all the safety officials on your team for all the work that you've been doing.
Thank you very much, both of you, and all of you behind the scenes. Thank you.
We'll see you on the field.
All right. Thanks, Henry. So as our special shapes continue to launch off, I see Smokey Bear standing up there. We saw Elvis out there. Mr. Z, the zebra, is out there as well. I saw the macaws go by.
We just had Buster the Bulldog fly over. It's animals and everything you can
galore.
imagine, yes.
And including Diane Kinderwater down there on the field.
Uh-oh.
Diane's been waiting patiently. Thanks, Diane. Take it away.
Okay, we saw these lovely ladies, part of the Wild West Girls Club, and they are celebrating their Girls Club right here on Balloon Fiesta Park. Thank you so much, ladies. And what attracted me to them, they were doing all these selfies. Let me see. Let's see this.
Have enough selfies.
You can't have enough selfies. That's what Romney from LA says, and people in LA love their photos.
And this has been on her bucket list for years. I didn't even know how incredible it
Well,
is.
she's not that old. It can't be on her bucket list for years, Romney. I mean,
Sure,
she's much younger than you are.
Hey.
They are celebrating here. They are classmates from UCLA, and they haven't seen each other for how long?
20 years. And we're out here visiting our friend that lives here.
Hey, nice to be here, everyone.
So you decided to have the girls' club during Balloon Fiesta time, Susie?
Come out to Balloon Fiesta, hang out, go to Santa Fe, do your thing. So this is amazing that it was on their bucket list to see.
No matter what age, your bucket list. And now we've got Buddy the Bison here, ladies. Look, he's with the National Park Service. And I was asking one thing that we need to correct. Of course, you're Buddy the Bison, but they always say Smokey the Bear, but we all know it's Smokey Bear, correct? Come on in here. What's your name?
Dan?
Dan, you're with the National Park Service?
Correct.
And do you have a balloon here?
We do. It's way out there somewhere.
As Buddy the Bison, look, he wants to dance. We love, ladies, come on over. We're all doing the Buddy Bison dance. What is that, Buddy? That's what it is? Okay, everybody.
There you see Smokey, the new Smokey Bear balloon. That's Elizabeth.
Congratulations. Appreciate you coming. Thanks, Buddy. Thanks, Buddy Bison. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Diane, for that interview. Again, you see Elizabeth Wright-Smith, Beth Wright-Smith, taking the new Smokey Bear balloon right over the rooftop studios. It's like its third or fourth flight. It's such a cool view from looking straight up. As we continue the Special Shapes Rodeo on this Friday, live from Fiesta Field at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil. Again, our crew does a fantastic job, Windfire Productions, getting the shots that all of you need to see online and on the air. Turning out to be a fantastic day. The sun is now hitting the middle of Fiesta Field. Everybody's smiling down there. We had a smiling balloon meister, Henry Rosenbaum, up on the deck with us earlier. It's all nice when everything goes well, Art, and
it's definitely doing that today.
It is. I wonder if Elvis is going to leave the building here in a minute.
I don't know. There's Crispy Bacon. And we don't have him on the screen, but I always have to shout him out. The balloon that I fly throughout the rest of the year. Sandia Sunrise, Barbara and Peter, Barbara Fricke, Peter Cuneo. The yellow one with the vertical red and blue stripes. For those of you who may see that balloon, that's the one I get to fly throughout the year. There goes
Seed Cool.
Seed Cool.
Yep. It's funny, as a child, I could remember all the names of the balloons. And as, we grow up in life and you have other jobs and other responsibilities, parents, so on and so forth, you kind of lose track of that. Now I feel like a kid again up here.
And the big hug with the elephant and the bear. Somebody on the feed the other day chatted, wouldn't it be nice to see that not only with elephants and bears, but with people around the world?
Yes, absolutely.
Ted, I think the field is about clear of regular balloons, and I think it's time to kick you out of here.
All right, I'm on.
And send you down into the middle of competition. And as we heard from Henry, and as we've mentioned, we're expecting, we will have 5 poles and 5 X's and about 250 balloons all coming at them, trying to get their share of $2,000.
A lot of envelopes of money up there, too.
Yep, get the ring and get the envelope tomorrow on Saturday.
Maybe I should take the ring down and put our names on it.
I think that'd be a great idea. What's our banner number? We could
All
be
right.
000.
Yes.
Yeah, because no one goes lower than that. Because number 1
or minus 001.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
I could do that. Because the banner number 1 is David Strassman, flies one of the Swiss balloons. He was the overall champion last year, so we could better that at 000.
And before I head down there, I
Oh,
already
yeah,
see
look.
I see
Yep.
some competitors. There's Cameron Wall up there, already looking to
Is that
dive
Cameron?
bomb it. Yeah, I believe it is.
Might be Amanda too.
Could be.
Yeah.
We still
but
got 10 minutes, but I will get down there in the middle of the field.
Get down
I'll
there.
leave it up here on the rooftop studios. I'll talk to everyone when I get to the middle of the field.
All right. Good luck down there. Be safe, and bring us the great pictures. Because we'll take a camera down there with Ted. We'll be right there at the poles and the X's. And we will bring it all to you right from the center of the field. So someone asked if that is the Roadrunner down there. We call the Roadrunner Speedy, but I do see him down there as one of the Moo Crew balloons. The regular shape. Arabelle inflated earlier. Arabelle has to have pretty calm winds to be able to fly at 220,000 cubic feet. And as long as she is, okay. Oh, well. There's Mr. Z. As we look back, there's the Speedy, the Roadrunner. Crispy Bacon is behind them. There is one of the Penguin balloons, and as it turns around, we see the eyelashes, meaning that that would be Splash. Puddles, the boy balloon, the companion balloon. Splash, the female. So a red skirt at the bottom and eyelashes. There's Snowbird. The other penguin that dresses up, takes his bright shirt and his camera with him. Zozobra standing up over Mr. Z. Zozobra, a tradition here in New Mexico called Old Man Gloom. And every early September, there is an entire festival around Old Man Gloom and Zozobra. People put their troubles and their worries and fears on paper. They put them inside the Zozobra marionette, which is a little bit shorter than our balloon. And he is set afire, and all of your troubles go up in smoke. And celebrating, there goes Tall Steve bombing the the picture. And there's a shot of Zozobra from the side. So this is the 100th anniversary of Zozobra. And so the city of Albuquerque, the city of Santa Fe, and the Santa Fe Kiwanis Club got together, raised some money, and built Zozobra. They also built a remote control. We showed you that yesterday on the stream, and talked to Bryce Risling, one of the guys that kind of spearheaded that entire project. If you missed any of that, go back to balloonfiesta.com. Check out the archives on Balloon Fiesta Live, and you'll be able to see all about the remote control of Zozobra. And there was Tiamo, the red heart balloon. There's the baby bee, Joelle, and Betty Jean, the butterfly, on the left. Bob Romanowski brought us the butterfly. Michael Glenn, we talked about him, the rolling pilot. in Joelle. I see the alien kind of peeking around behind Mr. Z. There on the left is our Keystone Cop, and the black and white one that is still being inflated is our Con balloon. So of course, if you've got a Keystone Cop, you've got to have the Con balloon, the Convict that we call Con Air, and Joe August has Con Air for us, while Will LaPointe has Keystone Willie, or Keystone Cop. A few more of our characters in there. Let's see. Oh, there's Frank Boy, spinning right around so that we can see all of Frank Boy and so that he can see all of what's going on. A number of our shapes will stay in static display for us, so we'll be able to continue to check on them when there's a lull in the competition. There's our one of our alien balloons. This is Astro the Alien, Lee Hooper. If you haven't figured out, that's the green one to the right of Snowbird. And just kind of half on the picture there was Albert Einstein. Kind of Taz was in the background there, actually Daz. Folks will make these balloons out of famous characters that have copyrighted names and or licensing requirements to use their names. So we all know that balloon as being Taz. Technically its name is Daz. And that's Sir Mix-a-Lot, I believe, kind of inflating right in front of him. That's the large cement truck from Duke City Ready Mix here in Albuquerque. Big part of the community in Albuquerque. And they wanted to be part of Balloon Fiesta in a special way. Held a contest to name that balloon. And they came up with Sir Mix-a-Lot. And we're seeing the backside of Chicky Boom, one of the first special shapes here in Albuquerque. A Carmen Miranda face on the other side. What we're seeing is the fruit. And you can see that like that yellow banana isn't quite inflated, as are some of the grapes and some of the others, because that's basically a regular shaped balloon. And then there's about a 12-inch opening that allows the heat to get into those different fruit pieces on the head of the balloon. And as the more heat gets into that balloon, as David Bear, our pilot for Chicky Boom, puts more heat in there, the fruit will fill out. There's a great front shot of Albert Einstein, Gary Moore, the pilot, and Astro, the alien. Peg Leg Pete, which we talked about earlier, kind of peeking over the top. Oh, that might be, I'm not sure if that might be Ziggy. I can't quite tell which one that gray one is. And Buzzy, the yellow and black. Oh, there's Beagle Maximus. Seems like dogs are the in special shape these days. Beagle Maximus almost looks bigger than Arabelle the cow, but is slightly smaller. Beagle is 200,000 cubic feet, Arabelle's 220. James Castle from right here in Albuquerque brings us Beagle Maximus. This is a shout out to the south of all of our regular shaped balloons that have taken off from the field and are flying south. And if we can take a look out to the northwest, we'll see all of our competitor balloons. Well, not all of them, but many of our competitor balloons are already out to the northwest. We can, one, we know that they're the competitors because they're coming in from that direction. The second is you notice how many more of them are actually the racer type or the cylindrical type balloons. And before we sent Ted down to the field, we had pointed out that Cameron Wall was one of the ones way out high and way up north, and that is indeed Cameron. We don't see him on the screen, and I don't expect to get there, but he's already far off to the east. So the game plan for our competitors today is most of the direction is pretty much to the south. Up high, you can get some direction to the east. And you can't take off very well directly north of us, although I see some out there that are trying that. They went way north to try and fly in on a straight south path. The others have gone to the northwest. They're going high, and they'll move to the east, drop down, and then come flying in from the north. There's not a lot of maneuvering right at the ground, although we have this little phenomenon here at the park that it seems if you come down on the east side of liftoff lane, then you tend to move towards the east, to the southeast. When you come down the west side of liftoff lane, you tend to move to the southwest. We have a number of theories about why that happens, but we'll watch for that as the competitors come in this morning and see if that sets up again for our competition pass. I think we have our last regular shape. Well, actually, that's still a special shape. Ballooniful Sunrise going over the field, as well as Pico, the little peacock with Andrew Holly aboard as the pilot. I'm thinking that the rest of the special shapes will probably stay static. We are at 8 o'clock. Let me turn my radio on here so we can monitor the information that's being given to the pilots. Thanks, Bill Royal, and welcome everyone here on the field to Balloon Fiesta Live. And it is time for competition here on Special Shapes Day, Kids Day, presented by Chick-fil-A. And we have a number of our special shaped balloons, as you've seen, staying static for us and giving us a great background for our competition. I believe the target is officially open this morning as we have passed the 8 o'clock hour. The competition today is Ring the Pole. There are 5 25-foot poles out there on the north end of the scoring area. Our pilots have a ring that is about 14 inches in diameter, and the task is to come in as close to one of those poles and put your ring over the pole. If you get a ring on the pole, that is worth $2,000. So we're going to watch those 5 poles very closely. Up to 20 of our pilots could be winning $2,000 today by ringing the pole. In addition to the poles, farther south of the poles, there are 5 X's on the field. Big white X's, the legs of the X are about 25 feet long, and the pilots will have a beanbag or a marker that has a tail on it with their name and banner number on it. And the task there is to throw the marker as close to the center of the X, any one of those X's. The closest to the center gets you more points. The points then add up. We add them to the scores that we have from Monday, from Tuesday, and from yesterday. and they contribute to the overall point totals, which will determine our overall champion for this year. In addition to the overall, there are daily competitions, so you can win today, but also be part of the overall competition. We're going to see, in fact, we're already looking, if you look out to the northwest, and actually even more to the north now, you'll see a whole lot of balloons in the sky, and many of them are what we call our racer shapes. They're more cylindrical because they can go up and down faster without the wind pressure distorting the balloon. Although we'll watch and we may see some of the balloon shapes actually distort a little bit as they do something we call close to a terminal descent. That's about it, getting the balloon to fall about as fast as it absolutely can. So there's already been a couple of balloons that have come down and are starting to drift off to the east side. We want to keep an eye on this white one at the top with the blue at the bottom. That's the Blaser Swiss Lube balloon. David Strassman from Switzerland is the pilot. He is our champion from last year, so you'll see his banner number being number 1. And right now, he's going to come right down, it looks to here, he's going to come down the east side of the field. He is hoping to get a little bit of a west, but since there are X's across the field and poles across the field, they can come in on many different lines and still be able to get that score. So the Blaser balloon with David Strassman, I see him dropping in over the northeast corner. We'll see if he still continues to drift to the northeast or the northwest. My colleague Ted Maes is down in the middle of the competition scoring area. He's got a live camera. If you're near the video walls, you'll be able to see that. And as we watch David kind of drift into the special shapes, we'll have to watch and see what happens. But Ted Maes, I hear you're down there in the middle of everything and ready to go. So give us a quick setup of what you see.
Thanks, Art. Yes, I'm down here, and David just missed with the Blaser balloon, his toss to the ring, to the pole. But we're right down at the pole in the center of the field, and we are looking at several competitors that have the opportunity to make it in here. It's not as fast as it was yesterday, but yet they still have to clear that 75-foot marker on the north end before they can drop down. And I'm sure that having some of these special shapes over here is a little misleading to the pilots that are in there. They're really good, but you always want to be watching for safety. So we're right here in the middle of the field. We have this pole right here. I think we're going to get a couple of poles rung, and Henry's going to be giving some money away to some of those pilots. Back to you, Art, in the studio.
Like you said, like we said, if you get a ring on a pole today and you're one of the first 20 to do that, that is worth $2,000. And of course, we have some great money for the overall competition and the overall prize money as well. All of that will be awarded tomorrow at the Pilot Award Brunch. You and I will be emceeing that tomorrow. And Ted, if you look up high off the north end, there's kind of a green spiral racer pulling one of those terminal descents, which I described to our folks here on the field down on Balloon Fiesta Live just before we went to you.
Yes, Art, that balloon looks like it's going to have a pretty good shot at one of the 3 poles that I am sitting in front of right here in the middle of the competition. You can see him slowing right now from his terminal descent and making this approach into Fiesta Field. I would say right now he's almost past the 75-foot marker, making more of a descent, and I think the 2 behind him, the blue one with all of the silver in it, are all going to be in the mix. It's going to be fast and furious here over the next 5 minutes on Fiesta Field.
And then once that starts, I think you're going to have a steady stream today as we watch all of them most of them taking off from the northwest. There is a new tactic today, though. There's a whole bunch of people coming from even farther out north that are just going to try and take that straight shot in. So 2 different strategies at play in the sky this morning. I should go ahead and tell all of our folks, too, that the technology we're using, which is really cool, it does introduce about a 5-second delay between Ted and myself. So some of these gaps that you'll hear between us is just that technology. But you got 2 coming at you, Ted.
Thanks, Art. The Kupacek balloon that just threw on the marker was a little too high and a little too fast, but it looks like we have someone headed towards one of the poles right here. If I'm not mistaken, that may be one of the Liberties, but I will get you the banner number as soon as I can.
Found him, Ted. It is Daniel.
Just missed the pole throw, the ring toss.
It is Daniel Liberty, number 5.
And a tremendous throw from Daniel Liberty, competitor number 5. And as you've said in the past, Art, banner numbers 1 through 20 signify the place that they finished last year at the Balloon Fiesta. So Daniel's going to be up there again this year with a toss like that. It's fantastic.
Next up from my viewpoint would be stepping up. That's the stair-step racer that's dropping in, Aaron Gebhardt from Indianola, banner 209. So again, watching Stepping Up come across. We'll get Ted back in just a moment here as we continue to basically the first 2 or 3 across. What's been interesting this week is that we've had balloons and competitors here right as the target has opened, and then we might have these come across in bunches. This morning, we're kind of more of a steady stream coming across. And at the other end of the competition, we always seem to have someone coming at the very end of that time period as well. So while Stepping Up is on the south end of the field, out on the north end of the field, the brother to Daniel who was through earlier, this is Chris Liberty, banner number 9, and his balloon is Pole Dancer. That's the racer shape with kind of the stair-step multicolors coming across. For those of you on the field, as our balloons do land on the field, be sure and give them room. Do not get in front of the balloon, whatever front of the direction is. Let the crews and the pilots handle that. If the pilot were to ask for help, follow those instructions, but definitely do not get in front of the balloon, catch it from the side or behind. So a nice low pass with the Chris Liberty. So Ted, this is Chris Liberty.
Art, I believe we're back up again from the center of the field. A little bit of technical difficulties. Yeah, I saw Chris fly over just a second ago. He tried to throw his ring at the pole, but that didn't work. He had a heck of a throw on the X, but I think his brother Daniel beat him. So a little bit of brotherly love there going on.
Well, Daniel was number 5 last year, and Chris is number 9 last year. So that same difference is sitting in between the brothers Liberty this year.
Art, we're about to have another grouping of racers come in and competitors in the next couple minutes here. So until they make the field, I'll send it back to you at the rooftop studio, and we'll be waiting down here, waiting for one of these poles to be rung by one of these awesome competitors here at the Balloon Fiesta.
Well, we don't need to stay here long because, yeah, you're going to have a steady stream. We've got one coming over the north end of the field, and there's one right behind it. Yeah, there's 3 in a row that are about to be to you, and about the time they get to the targets, there's going to be another batch. I can just see from here, I kind of see a nice long stream of balloons that are taking off from the northwest, going high, going east, dropping down and coming in. And those that took off way far north, maybe up as far as Bernalillo, are now starting to work their way here, and they're ever getting closer. They still have an hour and 15 minutes to get here, so plenty of time to make that happen.
Art, we have one of our competitors making a pass very close to this most, I guess, northeastern pole on the field. You see him venting out. Slowing down a bit. And, oh, he just missed it. But Art, the great thing is this lower level wind down on the deck seems to be slowing down a little bit. So if these competitors, like this one coming in on the north end of the field right now, gets down a little bit lower, they'll have some more steerage without that fast wind behind them, and we should see our first pole rung.
It usually doesn't take long with conditions like we have today to make that happen. So, yep, we're going to continue to watch.
And Art, that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you look at that balloon, slowed down tremendously right on the deck of the field. He's working that vent line. I hope we don't see a field goal here. I'd much rather see a touchdown, to be quite honest with you. Really working it hard, and this looks like we may get our first pole rung.
I believe that's Joe Seymour in Joyous Pleasures.
And just a little far to the west, Art. Art, if you noticed, many of these competitors now are watching what the first wave of competitors have done. And so you see up north of the field, Zarek Wells in the balloon Guilty. That's the yellow one with the black mustache. He is already just going to skim the top of that 75-foot marker, so he's legal. But once he gets into the field, he's going to get down to the deck where it has tended to slow down a lot more from yesterday. And be rest assured, these competitors out here that are up above him watching to the north, they're all paying attention to how these conditions in this micro meteorological area change every minute of the day.
And dropping in front of Zarek is Amanda Broadbeck in that racer, but it seems like she waited too long to drop in to be able to get to the poles, and she'll probably just go for the safe throw on the X, or she's going to go back up and see if she might be able to find something to try it again. Amanda, the current two-time women's national championship, or champion. Yep, she's going to go back up and try something else while we watch Zarek in Guilty, yellow with the black mustache.
Art, Zarek looks like he has a very nice line on this northeasterly pole. And you can see how the balloon is really slowed down, much different than yesterday's competition. It is not as quick right off the deck. It's still moving, but it is not as fast as yesterday. And I see Zarek, he has the ring in his hand, a hand on the burner. A little bit of burn. Oh, he threw it and he just missed it. He's now going to look at throwing a baggie. He has it in his mouth as he's working his vent lines, headed right towards you, Art.
So we've talked about the ring a few times, and kind of the best way to really get the ring on the pole is to actually fly right to the pole and set the ring over. We don't see very many throws be successful. The most successful the ring tosses is to actually get to the pole and set it down. And you probably heard it better than I did, but a big cheer as Zarek came over the X there. So I'm guessing a really good show on the X from Zarek Wells in Guilty, the yellow one with the black mustache. As you've got two more coming in behind you, Ted. The yellow, orange, and white Spiral Racer, and Hallucinations, the tie-dye balloon. So Zarek's going to go ahead and drop in on the very far southeast. Remember, don't get in front of the balloon. There's people there to catch him. Make sure that you are out of the way of our balloon's landing here on the south side of the field and off on the east side as well. So the tie-dye balloon, Hallucinations, blue one with the tie-dye pattern. Kind of watch him come down the east side, but also that orange and white and yellow racer coming right down the road. Looks like he might already be south of the pole, though. Another balloon competitor. There's the racer that's we watched come in. We'll get back with Ted here momentarily. Coming down the far northwest corner of the field, the blue one with the pink and teal bands going around it. That's Mr. Sprinkles, J.J. Mancini, the pilot. And he's down nice and low. And he may be able to get over to that far west pole.
Yes, you are.
Dropping in off the far north end, the yellow racer, that's going to be Johnny Petrin. Right behind him, the blue with the black and white checkerboards and the white stars, that's going to be Joe Hartzell. And farther out on the west, Sol Air, that's going to be Sean Rea. Sean and Joe and Johnny always place in the top of all the hot air competition balloons, it seems, around the country. So we'll keep an eye on all three of them as they all come in at the same time. Joe Hartzell going off to the east side while Sean Rea is on the west side, and Johnny Petrin leading the way right down the middle. So Joe Hartzell going back up. J.J. Mancini has landed at the south end of the competition. Johnny in the yellow racer, still kind of staying slow and just kind of drifting down towards the X. The Quavo racer over the crowd line on the east side. And I saw Natasha Stanky up high, going back up high. That's the red and white balloons with the arrows going up. And continue to watch Soler and Sean Rea come down the far west side. Next one coming in just over the poles on the north end, the red spiral with the yellow and black and white. That's going to be Code Red. Mark Sullivan piloting Code Red for us today. His flying partner, Sherry White, is in the white racer that is much higher coming in over the field. And Johnny Petrin going to land.
Mark Sullivan right here in Code Red.
And Sherry's dropping in next to him. So we're clearing some area. We're clearing some area for Sherry to come in on the south end here. Remember, don't get in front of it. Clear the area. Make room for her to come in, and grab her from the sides and behind. Mark continues to drift down the far west side of the field, and she's down. Crew on the basket pulls the top out of the balloon, and it deflates. They'll get that packed up to make room for the next ones coming in. So you have the red, gold, and black racer coming in at you, Ted. I think I have you back. Nope, I heard him for a moment. Those that took off all the way out near Bernalillo are continuing to get closer. And there's a whole lot of balloons flying over fairly high. Continue to watch Mark as he's coming down. He's now at the south end. See something fishy going high over the field. So those of you on the field, if you look up, you'll see something fishy, the fishbowl. Neil Smith is flying that. One of our other balloons we've seen in the target all week is the red one with the white zigzag in the blue and the yellow. That's 5280 Flyer, John Schmidt out of Colorado. 5280 being the mile high altitude. We have that altitude here, but Denver has claimed the Mile High City. That's 5280 Flyer. Looks like there'll be a nice pass on at least the X from this red, black, and gold stair-step racer. Four, 5, 6, Ted, we got you.
Guys, be careful. Art, I'm back here on the middle of the field. Banner number 208 making an approach to this pole that I'm right next to. my goodness, just hit the top of the pole and spun off at my feet.
From $2,000 to nothing, right? That would be Scott Knitting in banner 208.
That was really intense, Art. Really intense. And we have banner 184. Yes. We have banner 184 that looks like they have a great shot. And Art, they continue to throw $2,000 at my feet each time.
184 is Bruce Wood from Carbondale, Colorado. Down your west side, Ted, you've got Steve Lombardi in his Grande Finale, the racer with the R&S Motorsports banner on it. Hey, and look who's here early. Kevin Osborne, green on the top and the bottom with the orange along the middle. He's the guy we've seen.
He had made his way by and made a nice throw at an X.
Kevin we've seen at the end of the competition every day so far, so it's good to see that Kevin got here with still a little less than an hour left to go in our competition window.
He heard that there was more money on the polls, so he wanted to get here earlier, Art.
I believe that. Out to the northeast, Eric Greenwood, yellow with the silhouette reds of New Mexico. And then you have a green and yellow Spiral Racer. I think they're going to be the next ones to you.
Yes, Eric Greenwood in that yellow balloon with the state of New Mexico on it. There's a little marker on there that shows exactly where his home is in Albuquerque, and then 3 crosses for the city of Las Cruces below. And Art, it appears that Eric is just a little too high and a little too far east to maybe even make a throw of a baggie.
So if you look up, you'll see that there's a number of balloons still very high. Some have continued to fly over the field. But there's a lot of folks way up high trying to figure out how to get the right direction to make that line to come in through the field.
Yes, Art, I've noticed that. I've noticed that Cameron Wall, who before I even left the rooftop studio, was up high. He's been playing around over the north part of the field. This racer balloon on the west side making a pass by will unfortunately once again split the uprights, but they're in a great line for a nice toss on one of the X's on the south side of the field. But back to your point, there are several balloons that are just what we call working it up there and seeing exactly how they can make their approach into the field. It has picked up a little bit more down here than earlier, but I think we still have an opportunity to see some people ring some poles.
And Cameron was all the way at the south end of the field while you were making your way down there, and he has found some north because now he's at the north end of the field. Still over on the east, but he is definitely out there to the north. So there is a way to get back if you're patient enough and can find just that right thin altitude to move back to the north.
Arctis balloon coming in, banner number 1. Oh, the sun's in my eye. 144.
Harold Cliver.
He let the ring go, but of course at that speed missed, and he's looking at an X on the south side of the field. Art, as we have said before, the conditions in ballooning change at the micro level, and just in the last 20 minutes it went from a slower speed down on the ground on the deck to picking back up again. And here we have banner 086 making an attempt to that, again, far northeastern pole. And let's see what they do here live on Balloon Fiesta Live.
Chris Smart, Flying Dream Racer, the pink and black and blue racer.
Well, Art, Chris is going to play this smart, and he didn't even go for the pole. He's definitely going to go and fly right over the center of one of these X's and put some scoring points into his name. So way to play it smart, Chris.
More balloons coming in to land. Those two racers going to come down into the southeast corner. Again, give them room. Do not get in front of the balloon. Looks like in most cases they have crews waiting for them, so just give the crews room to catch that balloon as it comes down.
Art, we spoke yesterday with the pilot of the Dixie balloon, and it looks like he's trying to make his way back a little bit north, but he's getting a southerly flow. He's just in front of Cameron Wall out there in his grandmother's dream, and we're just going to wait here and see what he's able to do. We have a toss right there from the balloon headed your way, the red with the black and yellow and the black cross on it. They as well will have a nice toss at the target, the X mark right there on the south side of the competition field.
We watched their ring throw, which, as you pointed out, didn't quite make it to the poles. Still trying to pick up who that is.
Art, I still see several racer balloons, and aren't you glad I didn't call the blue balloon blue? Way north, probably over, I would say, just the tip of where Sandia Reservation starts before Bernalillo. And so you have a grouping of about 8 or 10 there. We have some more that are still making their way. Cameron has found a northwesterly flow, and he's really been working that. It's not very fast. It's probably less than 2 knots, but he is definitely trying to work it out. So I would not think that in the next couple minutes, probably 10 minutes or so, he will make his approach into Fiesta Field from the northwestern area.
We'll keep watching the balloon with the black cross on it. We talked about a moment ago. That's Cody Robinson from Kansas City. We just saw Gary Cass in his all-red racer on our screen. He's actually still there as we kind of see what the situation is out there. Gary seems like he might be too far east from my point of view and drifting to the east or southeast. There are definitely folks at all altitudes trying to find the right path in
Definitely,
here.
Art. He's definitely to the far eastern half over the crowd here. Art, I see Colin McClug in the Freedom Balloon just north of the field, along with Keith Takach and Sean Spikert in the Gut Wrenched Balloon. So they'll be the next ones to make the pass here. I think Cameron Wall is just, again, very steadily flowing to the north. He now has lost that west and is going kind of northeast. So it is light and variable up there, higher, not a lot of steerage to the west to get them into the field, but let's sit around here and watch what happens, as we still have well over 50 minutes until competition closes, unofficially.
Yeah, a lot of people that are trying to make the different altitudes, whether it's to get back to the north, get a little farther east, a little farther west, but everybody that's up in that 700-foot or higher level altitude, moving extremely slowly. And you know they're all watching each other. We know that Zach Maxwell, flying the Dixie balloon you talked about that we're watching, he told us he actually listens to Balloon Fiesta live and waits for us to tell them what the competitors are seeing as they come across the field. So it's really slow up there, Zach. And things change by the time every balloon comes across, has a little bit different pattern.
It's you.
In addition to the ones Ted just mentioned that we're kind of keeping an eye on, one of the other ones is going to be the Ultra Magic Balloon, black at the top, yellow and orange at the bottom. He mentioned Colin McClung. That's the blue and white one that has the yellow Freedom and the yellow pennants on it. He'll kind of be, looks like, coming in behind the Ultra Magic Balloon. High over the northeast part of the field, a regular shaped balloon. From the ground, it kind of looks just kind of a light blue, but it actually has the painting. That's Cameron Wall he was talking about. And if you look higher than Cameron and maybe a little bit farther south, you see the vertical pattern of the yellows and the purples and the pinks. That's Dixie with Zach Maxwell. I also see Flying Circus out in the mix. That's the yellow and blue, mostly yellow, but blue and red verticals. And actually, I see some of our little remote control balloons starting to set up on the far north end of the field. Specifically, I see the Mini Guilty, the yellow with the black mustache. We saw Zarek Wills come across.
I'm watching.
And a number of those. So that's something else to see while we're out here on the field. Go out and check out our remote controlled, our mini Maes. The Ultra Magic balloon being flown by Josef Yato Costa. And while he's going up to attempt to change his line into the targets, Colin McClung, the blue and white Freedom Racer, is dropping in to make his pass. And now Josef Yato dropping the Ultra Magic in. You don't have to go very high.
Art, we're back up live again from the field.
Both Colin and Joseph now both drifting to.
And as you were mentioning, the Ultra Magic balloon had a great track. Yeah. Sorry, Art.
You got it, go.
Now, as you were saying, the Ultra Magic balloon had a great track on what was coming in, but when it's so light and variable down here, the winds are changing so frequently, it does look like Colin may have a track on this far northeastern pole. He's going to make a toss with his ring and just miss. But they have a good line on each of the targets to the south of them, the X's. I would say, Art, this is one of the most challenging Fiesta competitions that I can remember in quite some time, because there is no box to come back, and what they are finding up there is very, very light. Again, I'm looking at Cameron Wall in his balloon, and he's really not moved very much. I thought he would move a lot more. Sean Spikert and Gut Wrench just north of the field. That's that blue balloon with the yellow Zia and the logo in the middle. They're just moving very, very slow, and Keith to Catch the same thing up there in the north end of the field. A lot of northeast, not much northwest.
From my point of view, Ted, we are seeing more of a west. Sean and Neil Jackson in the yellow one right below Sean Spiker in that racer, and then Cameron and Zach up higher. All four of them have in the last 3 minutes made some significant progress to the west. So it is there, but it's still pretty slow.
Art, it seems to be a very thin layer, and they're going to have to just hit it right when they make their approach into the field to be able to hit one of these poles to ring the pole. Again, there are X's on the south end of the field that they're able to throw out, so a little bit more safe scoring there. And as you've mentioned, the safe scoring supersedes what the poles will have to offer when the final standings come out.
Ted, you've got banner number 97.
Here are our next group of competitors coming in. I believe that's Neil Jackson just north, following.
Yeah, Chris Cliver is leading that pack in. He's in the racer that has the checkerboard pattern. Neil is behind him. Behind him is Sean Spiker. And I think that's Travis Gauthier. The fourth one behind coming in, the orange corn nuts type of balloon.
Banner 097 tried to make a drop with the pole. Unsuccessful. We do have Neil Jackson right behind him. They're waving at us because I don't think they're going to get there.
Got to do something.
Looks like they're going to play it safe. Well, they're going to throw their ring. A little bit short. Yep. But we do have Sean Spiker in the gut wrench balloon, or this could be the gut punched balloon. I'm not sure which. I think it's the gut punched.
Yep.
See. He made a nice throw, but this wind that's coming through on the deck, changing, going from slow to high, is just really not the wind conducive to be able to make that perfect ring toss.
And next one to you is Travis Gauthier, Ted.
I see Travis, he's got his marker in his mouth. Sean Spikert, I believe that was his son, who just received his private ticket right before Balloon Fiesta, flying with his dad. Made a nice pass and throw. Travis in banner 157 is just as our founder, Sid Cutter, would say, tickling the grass right over the top of one of the X's, and he'll lay that marker out nearly dead center. Right there. Very nice throw.
More coming in over the north end. One racer, one regular shape. Actually, they look like they might already be south of the poles.
That toss right there was from banner 129, right in front of our camera. We have another toss coming in from the Cathedral City hot air balloon. And they just hit the pole with their marker, but we'll have a nice lineup on this X, which is right on the side of the road, and we'll have it live for you here on Balloon Fiesta Live. She should come right over the top of it and be able to drop dead center or close to it on the X.
Jimmy Marshall was the one that threw the
very nice toss.
The regular shaped balloon with the multicolor zigzags. And guess who's next, Ted? Cameron Wall managed to get far enough to the west to make a drop or drop down in on the north side, but looks like he's already caught the east.
You're exactly correct, Art. That is Cameron Wall, and one heck of a job of piloting. But again, this has been a tricky competition, folks. These pilots are really working it, I'm actually watching a couple that are still up high, trying to get a little bit of a north, and I think Cameron may try that again, seeing what he's doing, because I don't think he feels like he's going to get an appropriate toss from where he's at.
I can see that the vent is opening because the bottom of the balloon's caving in a little bit, so he's going to make a really fast, pretty quick descent right there.
Yeah, it appeared he changed his mind, and he did toss his ring, and it set right at the bottom of the pole. Art, we have another racer coming in right behind us. It's that black with the blue, teal, white, I guess light blue, white stair step coming in, as well as I see Keith to catch coming on the north end of the field. Ralph Kaiser is way out there again playing, and I do see a bear. Not a bear that you would think is in the forest, but I see a David bear or a Ray bear just to the northwest, right over that 75-foot marker, looking at their approach into Fiesta Field.
The black racer coming in is Zach Burgess, banner number 51, the balloon, good question. And the bear you're talking about is going to be Ray, because David set up Chicky Boom for us earlier this morning. So we're watching Zach Burgess on the screen.
This looks like the best attempt yet. Right onto the pole.
He got the pole?
We do have a pole winner out here, Art. We do have a pole winner. That's that black racer that just went by. He dropped it right on top of the pole. He got the pole. And a very nice throw on the X as well. So fantastic job by that. I did not get a banner number, but nice job.
It's banner 51. That's Zach Burgess, Ted. And we had it all right here on Balloon Fiesta Live. Those of you on the field who may
nice
want
job,
to see
Zach
that,
Burgess, banner 51.
May want to see that more close up. You'll be able to go back and watch the archive of Balloon Fiesta Live and see that nice and close up. And we still have about 33 minutes of competition here on Balloon Fiesta Live. Ted Maes down in the middle of the field. I'm Art Lloyd Jr. on the rooftop studio. Thanks for being out here. What a great crowd we have for our Friday morning competition. So Ted, you got the pink,
Art,
white,
as difficult
and purple.
as these winds have been to read, these pilots are putting on a show for all of you folks out here on Kids Day. Yep.
Shane Shipman
and we also have Mr. Keith to catch that looks like he's going for the same pole that we just had someone on.
And Keith is the blue racer with the other multicolor verticals.
So our cameraman is going to have to decide which way he's going, yeah.
So Ted, all kinds of action going on. I have Sumo landing out here on the south.
Shane just missed it right there. Banner 81.
Zach Maxwell, Dixie we'd watch is going to go off to the west side. You also have John Wilson, the multi-shades of blue and
we have
white.
Keith to catch coming. You can approach. Yeah. It looks like Keith is going to actually miss that pole, but they're looking at a marker and we'll go right over the top. And here we have John Wilson in the Sinclair balloon. We could have our second pole of the day. And they just missed it there, Art. Banner 082. Although he's going to keep it right about ground level and hit one of the X's as he proceeds to go south. He'll have a very nice toss. He burnt a little bit too much. He's pulling some red line out here. But he's going to have a nice toss right over the top of this X. As he vents out a little bit more, he leans off, makes his throw. And near the center of the X, that's banner 082.
Yeah, 082, that's Johnny Wilson. His Jaws balloon.
Well, Art, while we have this little lull, I'm going to send this back up to you at the rooftop studios. And once we get these last grouping of balloons that make their approach to Fiesta Field, we'll come back to you from down in the action at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil.
Thanks, Ted. We're working with lots of things up here, but you're right. We've got a kind of a little bit of a gap in the action coming across as we kind of work to fill things. Balloon pilots continue. I think this batch that's kind of out there now, you mentioned Ralph Kaiser, that's the, looks like mostly white with some reds up there, and another group of them, what's there, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or so out there that I think those are the ones that may have taken off from out near Bernalillo and have been trying to work our way in. But there's still balloons very high. I've been watching one that was over the rooftop studio for a long time, a blue racer with kind of some yellow check boxes around it, or square boxes. That's Joe Candelaria. In probably 10 minutes, he's moved not very far on my angles here, but he's going to continue to work through that. The issue is, will he have enough time to get that far?
You are correct, Art. As I'm looking south now, and you up to your left, Eric Greenwood, who already made that pass before in the yellow balloon with the States of New Mexico on it, is making a northwesterly track. So I don't know if he'll have enough time, but he's definitely putting forth the effort to do so.
He's just a little bit to the southwest of my vantage point on the rooftop studio. And I'm watching him as well as Joe Candelaria, who's just a little farther north of him. And gosh, it's almost, he's going so slow, he might as well be stopped. But those coming in from the north do seem to have a little bit of speed coming towards us. So they all have the time to get here. Whether they'll be able to do it on the correct path, the right line to be able to get to a pole or to an X or both, we're just going to have to wait and see. Great shopping all day today here on Main Street.
Art, you're correct. I'm here on that main road that we talk about, the divide. That dividing line road that we talked about, and I'm noticing something very strange. If you look to the west over here, the flags are flowing right south off of it. And if you look to the northeast, the flags right where the road comes down are going a little bit to the southeast. So, to your point, it may be the heat coming off the road that's causing that diversion. There's all sorts of variability out here. those guys that are coming in from the competitors from the north end of the field right now, if they stay on the east side, it's going to suck them east, it appears. If they're able to get west, which there doesn't seem like there's much other than Ray Bear up top, they will stay to the west. So it's very odd what we're seeing out here, but that's part of being a competitive balloon pilot and having to read those difficult winds on days like today. Back to you in the studio.
As I started to say, it's a great day to do some shopping on Main Street while we'll continue to watch a few more competitors get here, and they've got about 25 minutes or so to get to the target. Great day to check out the merchandise tents, official merchandise tents at the north and south end of the field. Get your programs so that you can help identify all of the balloons. They've all got pictures and pilot names and cities. We've got some of our Globitos balloons listed in there, some great articles about flying balloons and other activities around ballooning. In fact, this year in the official program, there is a little scavenger hunt that you can do that will take you around the field and to some places off the field. Complete the scavenger hunt and scan the code for your own congratulations certificate. That's all in the official program. Available in the north and south merchandise tents. It's also available online at balloonfiestastuff.com. Balloonfiestastuff.com is the place that you can get your merchandise if you're not here on the field. I'm thinking that is Foxtrot coming over the far east side of the field. Going to fly right south of the north merchandise tent I was just mentioning. And the next one with a line directly to you, Ted, is our buddy Ralph Kaiser. White balloon with the red and pinks alternating around those whites.
You are correct, Art. That is definitely Ralph, and he is going to, unless something changes, but we all are involved in hot air ballooning. That could happen by the second. Looks like he'll stay on the east side of the field here as he makes his approach in over that 75-foot required marker.
While we watch Ralph drop in, all the way directly underneath Ralph, all the way out there, all of our Globitos balloons. Those of you on the field here, you might want to work your way around the east side and go up there and check out those remote control balloons. We talked earlier with Balloonmeister Henry Rosenbaum about Tiny the Fire Dog. And among the RC balloons out there, I see the RC of Tiny the Fire Dog or Fire Pup.
Art, I think Ralph may be playing it safe and getting further enough south to make a drop on the X's. It doesn't appear that he's going to make an approach into any of the poles on the north here. And as I count them, unless I'm missing something, then there were only 6.
Ted, there's one more way out north, but I think it's far enough that it's not going to get here, so I'm going to go with your 6. Of course, I look straight up over the field, and there's a good 4 up there, plus Eric. Although looking at the Ray Bear, he's now definitely drifted to the south. So, yeah, I just don't think there's enough to get back to the north within the time frames of our competition.
Art, I have unofficially 21 minutes remaining, and you are correct. Eric Greenwood, who I thought had a little bit more of a north, just stalled up there in that yellow balloon to the west with the New Mexico logos on it. And you are right, Ray Bear is kind of just sitting well above the field. I think Joe Candelaria is who you were speaking of before, has made it a little bit more north, but I don't know if he's going to get far enough north up there. He's up there in that pink and blue balloon. I don't think they'll get enough of that to be able to make an approach, at least to the poles. They can to the X's, but this last grouping of 6, I did see the 7th one you were referring to, but they seem like they're well north on the Sandia Pueblo or coming over the Pueblo, so I don't think they'll make it here in that 21-minute marker, now probably 20-minute marker, but we will stay tuned here on Balloon Fiesta Live, watching these last few competitors on the final day of competition at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil.
So the pink and blue one that you talked about, that is the farthest north, that is still very high, that's actually Shane Richardson. Joe is in the mostly blue, couple shades of blue with the yellow square boxes on it. He's a little lower, but he's still way over the south end of the field. Shane in that pink one, kind of looks pink from the bottom with the blue. He's getting far enough north, but like you said, time's running short for them. We're going to keep an eye on these 6 that at least a couple of them appear to be over the north end of the field already.
Yes, Art, and they seem to be a little bit high, maybe playing it safe just to throw a marker out rather than going for the poles with the money on top. And I apologize for the miscommunication, but as you say, it's hard to stick a camera and point it straight up. This reporter is getting a little bit dizzy standing here looking up at all of the balloons that are a mile high.
Welcome to the world of live competition on Balloon Fiesta Live. So the purple with the yellow cross designs on it is tied together. That's Al Appenzeller. He's over on the west side of the field, but he's got the direction to the southeast. So I'm not sure where he is north-south ways, but we'll have to see what, maybe you can tell us more where he is.
He's right on the west side, just threw his marker off. A very nice throw on an X down there. They're all in the basket, seem to be happy, so they can see better than we can, but a fantastic throw after they've really tirelessly worked to get back to Fiesta Field to at least put some scoring on the rankings for their balloon. Now we do have one coming in from the north. This is a multicolored one. We could see another pole that is rung. There is $2,000 that he did maybe overburn a bit, so he's really venting hard as he comes in. Could have just overburnt a little too much. Has the ring out. And just missed it. But we'll have an opportunity on an X that he's headed for right on the south side of the field. And if you're watching live, you're seeing a balloon eclipse. We did not have an eclipse this year, but you just saw one live on Balloon Fiesta Live.
That balloon from the north that we said didn't have much of a chance seems to be getting bigger faster. Still think he's too far away, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, Art, unofficially 16 minutes till the end of competition. And you are right, it is getting bigger, faster. Kind of has an east down low, while the other 4 that are remaining seem to be sitting anywhere from 7 to 1,200 feet. Kind of sitting there now, kind of stalled. And that's happened to myself before, where I've flown in from on the west side and for whatever reason could never get past Roy Road, or the extension of Tramway, which is just north of Fiesta Field here. So we will see.
So I'm wondering, I continue to watch those two up high. Shane Richardson has gone way off to the east. That's the blue and pink one. He's actually off the east side of the field. But take a look at Joe Candelaria, the racer with the multi-shades of blue and the yellow. He is now directly lined over the center of the field, and he continues to find a way to go north while everybody else is going south. He may be able to get north of the field, although like you said, we're down under 15 minutes to be able to get there and make a drop in. Joe, an Albuquerque pilot, usually near the top of the standings in the local monthly flying event competition. So Joe looks like he's got the patience to get there. Whether the clock is going to be favorable will be another question.
Art, you are exactly right. I am almost standing directly underneath Joe, and he has a nice little north wind right there. It's just going to depend, as like you said, is the clock is ticking, tick-tock, tick-tock. Unofficially, I have about 14 and a half minutes. We'll obviously get that word from the flight safety team and our balloon meister or assistant balloon meister, Peg Bilson. But he is definitely moving north at a nice little clip, actually, at this point. So we'll see if he gets far enough north over the field to just bring it in on a terminal descent and score either a pole or get his marker in the center of an X. And Art, I may have just jinxed Joe because the minute I said he had a nice little clip, it's tended to slow down quite a bit. Sorry, Joe. He's still moving a little bit north, but not as fast as he was before. And I would think in the next 45 seconds to a minute, folks who are still out here watching this competition at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, powered by ExxonMobil, we'll see Joe come in and make an attempt. I think you probably have a better view because I'm right underneath him, Art, but it seems like he's starting to make his descent right about now. I see the balloon tipping a little bit.
From my point of view, he is definitely descending. That's probably why that direction to the north went away, because it was so thin, so narrow, that once you dropped out of it, you changed direction. So the question is, did he go far enough north that when he drops lower, is he going to have enough room to come back south for either the poles or the X's? You hope that he stayed up in that north long enough to get that, to get far enough. It's like flying past the target so that you can come back to it. We've got a great shot of him looking at him in the basket as he continues to look over and down. Now look what happened. He started moving to the southeast. And so as Joe Candelaria in the blue racer with the yellow check boxes descends, he is now dropped out of that direction that was taking him back to the north. And now he is coming back south, way much faster than he was moving to the north. And I can't quite see his face, but I can sense the frustration. Yep, there he is waving at us. Nice try, Joe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5, maybe 6 balloons out there. Although I'm thinking that the black spiral racer, based on what we just saw with Joe, is going to end off to the west. You've got the blue and yellow checkerboard balloon. That would be Sam Roby. There actually is, I'm looking at the anemometer right here on the rooftop studio, and at that level, which is probably about 50 feet off the ground, there is a direction back to the southeast. So maybe Sam in the yellow and blue checkerboard, as well as that racer that we're looking at, the Spiral Black, they may be able to catch something to bring them back southeast across the field.
Art, we're back here after a little bit more technical difficulties, but we have the final 5 balloons now. You were right. That one kind of made it. I think it was this one coming in right now, the blue and gold. And out of the ones that are remaining, seems to have the best shot at making at least one of the poles, and for sure some X's on the western half of the south side of the field.
Ted, there's another one in the mix. Look High Overhead, Pixie Spirit, Caitlin Salazar trying to do what Joe Candelaria tried a few minutes ago. She's found that north direction back over the field. Hopefully she'll go a little farther north before she drops down in, so she has room to get back to things. But the clock continues to not necessarily be their friend today. Again, Sam Roby in the blue and yellow or blue and gold.
Yes, unofficially 9 minutes until the end of competition, and Banner he let his ring go, just missed, but he'll have a nice toss on one of the X's down here on the south side of the field. And right on one of the legs of one of the X's. And Art, if you look probably straight above, maybe a little to the east, you see Ray Bear up there, but unfortunately, I don't think he's going to have enough time. He's doing the same thing that Caitlin's trying to attempt, but it almost seems like towards the middle of Fiesta Field here, there's a stop sign, and that north tends to just dissipate as we're winding down time in the final day of competition here at the 52nd Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And I'm seeing Dale Patton, who's in charge of our smokes, make his way down here. So both him and H2, another one of our safety officials, are preparing the smokes with about 7.5 minutes left unofficially in competition. As I turn around, I do see there's the balloon that we had to remember, No Tiene from Spain, making their approach. So it looks like they may make it, along with Aren't You Glad You Didn't Call Me Blue? That balloon is called Orange with the big blue on it. So they will both make the field here, I believe, before the competition ends. And unfortunately, Caitlin is just at the stop sign, Art.
Ray Bear is definitely south of the field, and he seems to have a west direction, a little bit closer and directly over the rooftop studio. The yellow with the geometric red, turquoise, etc. That's Mike Spinello. He is definitely stopped, and so yeah, we've got those two, blue, orange, No Tiene, and we'll have to see what Caitlin is able to do while she's right over the field. I don't think Mike or Ray from the south end is going to get there. And then we do have a couple of others that are out there as well. But like you said, we're down to just a few minutes left of competition in the 2024 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Prize money awarded tomorrow at the Pilot Award Brunch. We'll bring that, we'll record that for you and put it up online for you shortly after brunch is over, so you'll have all the winners. And we'll be able to recap those winners at tomorrow night's Globe and again at our final Maes Ascension, our farewell Maes Ascension on Sunday morning. But we still have an entire evening of special shapes to deal with tonight in our special shapes Rodeo, our team fast track double jump with the flags one time, with pyrotechnics the next time. Of course, a drone show, as well as afterglow fireworks. All of that gets underway starting at about 5 o'clock tonight. Gates open at 4. Great crowd last night. We expect a big one tonight, so come early and enjoy Kids Day here at the Balloon Fiesta on our special shapes rodeo flights this morning and Rodeo tonight. So, Ted, I see both blue, orange, and Dennett.
All right, Art. Well, I'm here with. Sorry, Art. I'm here with the guys who are going to end the competition here momentarily. I have Dale Patton, Flight Safety Officer, and Henry Gabaldon. They have the smokes in hand, purple and yellow, so there will not be purple and yellow hair for me tonight. I will make sure I stand upwind of them, but they have about 2 minutes, I heard. 2 minutes, so I will let these guys do their job, but I'll send it back to you and you'll see the smoke going. I don't think we're going to get another competitor in, although Caitlin's above us, so she has less than 2 minutes to get down here and either throw or ring a pole. So send it back to you at the rooftop studio, Art.
All right, Ted, we'll keep an eye on Caitlin there.
Thanks, Ted.
She could get there in 2 minutes, but I would think that if I were flying and I knew there were 2 minutes, I'd be letting some heat out of the top and making that descent to get down. That, or depending on where I was, I'd be throwing the marker. I'm not sure I would try the ring. That would be a really long shot to ring a pole from that high. You could get your marker into the scoring area, because remember, the pole has to be rung, so you have to be exact on that. But when you're throwing the X's, the markers on the X's, they'll measure out. Basically, if it falls in the scoring area, they're going to measure it, and you'll get some points. And actually, it does look like Caitlin's just starting her descent. As we look up high. We'll continue to watch as the clock winds down. Keep an eye there. Keep an eye on Ted and Dale with the smoke. As we wind up competition here at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
Art, it does appear that she is making her descent.
She's got to come a little faster.
It does appear that she's trying to make that descent with the balloon turning, but she's just added a little bit more air. Yep. She's got about a minute to go, Art, and I don't think it's going to happen. So
what a way to get some airtime, though, right? Be the last one over the field as we get down to the last couple of minutes. And all eyes on Caitlin in her Pixie Spirit balloon. Waiting to see if she's going to drop, descend, and it looks like she's going to sit there and watch it happen. Maybe she'll get some great pictures of the smoke going on.
Well, the purple smoke will definitely match her balloon, that's for sure. And a very pretty balloon at that.
Yeah, I love that little Tinkerbell on the side of it. There's the word from our official.
And there goes the smoke, Art. I see Dale Patton letting the purple smoke out. Henry Gobbledone.
And Peg Bilson on the radio telling pilots.
And Henry Gobbledone with the yellow smoke.
Yep. And Peg Bilson on the radio telling folks that the targets are closed. So competition for the 2024 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta is now ended. It's all up to tallying the marks and the scores and putting all of that together. So I got a few little pieces of good job down there, Ted.
Thanks, Art. I'm going to pack it up with the guys. These camera guys work really hard through our technical difficulties, and we'll meet you back up at the rooftop studio. I look forward to the balloon glow this evening. So on Kids Day, bring them out on Kids Evening to the balloon glow tonight, and hopefully we have just as good as weather as we had yesterday. I'm going to get out of this smoke. I'm Ted Maes, your Art Lloyd Jr. Back to the rooftop studio.
Thanks, Ted. We're going to wrap it up from here as well. First off, thanks to everybody coming out today for our competition and Kids Day presented by Chick-fil-A. We are here live on Balloon Fiesta Live, and I think you still hear me on the PA. We're going to do a little Balloon Fiesta Live business here. You may know that we have been giving away Balloon Fiesta Live license plates every single session. All you have to do is go online. We'll have a QR code on the screen for those of you who can see that. Those of you on the field, go back and watch the video and catch the QR code, because you can enter all the way up through early Sunday morning when we pull 3 names every single session and we give away a Balloon Fiesta Live license plate. The winners for today, Friday AM from Trenton, Ohio, is Chad Allen. From American Canyon, California, Travis McDowell. And from right here in Albuquerque, Anthony Trujillo. You are this morning's winners of a Balloon Fiesta license plate. I'll be in touch with you right after Balloon Fiesta to make sure we've got the right addresses and all those kinds of things. Again, you can scan the QR code. You have to be watching Balloon Fiesta Live. For those of you on the field, when you get home, go to balloonfiesta.com, look for the Balloon Fiesta Live webpage. You'll be able to scan the code and be able to get entered in our contest for that free license plate. As we've said, this has been the Special Shapes Day, Kids Day, brought to us by Chick-fil-A. This afternoon's activities start about 5 o'clock with the gates open 3:30, 4 o'clock. Get here early because we expect a great crowd tonight. At 5 o'clock, Team Fast Tracks jumps in with the American flag, the Fiesta flag, and lots of other activities in the sky. We've got music on the Main Street stage at 5:15. At 6:30, we'll get around to our Rodeo. We'll set up our 126 special shapes, and we'll have a really great time lighting them up as we have fun with burns and all burns and flicker burns and pulse burns. You'll want to join us for that as well. At the end of the glow, Team Fast Tracks jumps in with their pyrotechnics show. We've got our drone show integrated with our fireworks show. It's going to be a great evening here at Balloon Fiesta Park on this Friday of Balloon Fiesta. So all of that said, of course, tomorrow morning we've got a Maes Ascension. Tomorrow evening, a night magic balloon glow. Sunday morning, our farewell Maes Ascension. So still lots of activity here at the 2024. Where did 19 come? 2024 Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, presented by ExxonMobil. For Diane Kinderwater, our reporter, for Ted Maes down in the competition area, I'm Art Lloyd Jr. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being out here for Balloon Fiesta. And we'll all be back later tonight for our Special Shapes Rodeo. Goodbye, everybody.
You've been watching Balloon Fiesta Live, powered by ExxonMobil. Always in October and always in Albuquerque. This is the 52nd edition of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the world's premier ballooning event. Want more balloon action? Visit the archive of Balloon Fiesta Live broadcasts at balloonfiesta.com. Thanks for watching Balloon Fiesta Live. This program is a production of AIBF Inc.